AZ just came on. He said, "Oh, is he on today?" Yeah. AZ just came on. He said, "Oh, is he on today?" Okay. AZ should be there pretty quick.
There he is, Pop.
AZ just came on. Morning, AZ. And just then.
But
Oh, that was, oh, there we go. Hey, JDS is there. Hey, hey. Yeah, he's the first Canadian in the house this morning. Yeah, it is. Happy Mother's Day, isn't it?
up, David, JDS.
Anybody that's a mother. It's a little breezy out this morning already. Oh, back door let dogs on. Went, whoa, the bushes are moving. And oh, okay.
Am I still on?
Yeah, it says,
Yeah, why? What's up, TJ?
yeah.
Because I can't control it. Who did I make host last time? Was it David yesterday or?
I don't know why. What do you mean you can't control what?
I have no control over the hang on.
I don't either. I'm not a host or anything
I'm
either.
not a host or anything. No. AD said, did you see a message of just then?
Let me see.
It was David last night. AD just said.
Are you talking about that F-35 you posted, David?
Hey, Captain Joe's there this morning. All right, TJ. Gonna rest my eyes for a while. Holy mackerel, he just got up.
Thing's gonna be big.
I don't know. It's funny about midnight, 1 o'clock. I was gonna get up for a while. I couldn't sleep for the life of me. I slept for a little bit and I couldn't. Anyways, I woke up and I couldn't back to sleep. Then at 7, 8 o'clock, I didn't want to get out of bed. I don't know. It was weird.
JDS, he's probably fine. Yeah, I was reading your chat just about 10, 15 minutes ago. I was reading it.
Oh, Grace. Go lay
You
down.
and Sean talking. Yeah, it looks pretty big. Oh.
Okay, so I'm just getting my screen set up. I must have screwed them up last night somehow. Okay.
So with Bill, Geeksvana, and who was it last night? Wedge. Me 20 some dollars closer to my chair.
There you go.
But you want to get along with JDS? He says, I'll be.
I have to raise $269 to be able to get that chair I want to get, so I can get rid of this fucking thing because it's falling apart on me.
Did you do it? You went for coffee, or you went to a bonfire last night, didn't you, Paul?
No, Liz said she's going down to Waterworks Park, a different one.
Oh,
She seen an oriole down there with a nest. She said she's gonna go have a coffee and go down. She goes, "Oh, do you want to go?" She sure, why not? So went down. I was back home by 8:30, 8:30, someplace around there.
Justin, you went on at 8, right?
Yeah,
Going to someplace, some lady's house today for a barbecue or something, but I finished the floor last night, so
Oh, did you?
all done.
Now all you got is trimming to do, huh?
Gotta do some trimming, yeah.
let's see here.
I gotta get my table saw and bring it here so I cut some narrow strips, right? So,
That's the chair I'm gonna try to get.
Oh, wow.
So once I get enough money saved up, I'll get that. I'm gonna use whatever money I get off YouTube. That'd be a few months, but I'll get it.
You're gonna get the modern version or the
No, the $200, $269 one. The other one's like super expensive, and I don't know why, because it's not any different.
it's
Besides,
$500.
yeah, and it's
Well, the base is different. It's got that circular base, so, and then
yeah, but I don't see what the justification of the price difference is. I kind of looked at both of them. It's pretty much the same chair.
yeah.
So, what's up, Laura? I don't know. At the rate I'm going, it's probably going to take me at least 3 or 4 months before I can get it, but it's all right. That's what I'm going to use the money for, and then I'm going to try to. My next goal after that will be you start saving money from it too to do 2 new monitors. I need something with a higher refresh rate for gaming.
Yeah, so there, always what I did last night. Yeah, finished the floor last night.
Oh, yeah, looks good.
Yeah, got to just trim out everything now and put baseboards on and yeah, I got a
Well, sometime that little trimming takes as long as the actual what you did, you know?
sometimes, yeah. I just gonna bite these. Here we got some cereal.
Well, what you up to, Laura? Like Joe's cooking breakfast.
Yeah, I went and flew with the new controller this morning.
Oh,
Worked good.
Nice.
I'm still getting used to it, but
yeah.
because everything's a little bit different, subtle differences.
Oh, you are going live later? Okay.
Laura's going live.
That's what she said.
All right. Another episode of the David and Laura show.
Did you at least get a lanyard for that one so you don't drop it again?
No, not yet.
Or even use the one that you use for your phone, at least.
AZ helped me 100% just to get it, because it's a used one. And so it was registered to somebody else. So we had to figure out how to change the registration. Which David did all the work, and I pushed the buttons with my big fumbly old hands, you know?
I don't think I even got a notification you scheduled a live war. Nope.
Hey, even Hugh Dynasty and Kurt Dart.
Yep. And Curtis.
What's up, Curtis? Oh, I gotta find out. That reminds me, I gotta get up with Dustin. Hey, I didn't even get no notification, Laura. I just went back 2 days. I'm in the notifications. I don't have nothing in there. It said you scheduled a live. So it didn't even give me a heads up. The last one that it showed that you scheduled or did was 19 hours ago when you did the bird live.
Right back, I gotta get another pop.
Oh,
Ugh.
just woke up. It's a West Coast thing. Yeah, right. I fell asleep right after I got off my live last night. I was out. I think I made it maybe a half hour in the bed and I was out. So it'd be 2 o'clock my time. Two PM Eastern is when I'll be going live today, I guess. See, I was actually looking at chairs like Paul has, like an office executive chair, but I don't want something that looks officey. Although they're very comfortable chairs.
Ugh. So what chair are you in now, Justin?
That one that I got about a year ago, the one that me and Tim got, that Tim got for me, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's so thin, and there's just no padding to it, and it's hurt my back, and then it feels like now it's sitting sideways. It's just pain in the ass.
Hmm.
It hurts like my back and my legs are, after being in it for a couple hours, start hurting really bad. So, and I had one of those rocker chairs like the one I showed the Amazon link. I had one of those a couple years ago, and it really comfortable. I mean, you could fall asleep in that thing
Yeah.
because the shape of it and everything, and it has I mean, it's like padding like that thick in it. They're super thick. And they're very heavy duty, like the bases on them are very heavy duty. What's up, Jody?
The Twin Dynasty said he's got 4 new Mavic 3 Pro videos on his YouTube channel already. Hey, Jody, good morning. I just woke up. It's a West Coast thing. Oh, crap, you're early. Well, yeah, it's about 6 o'clock there.
3 hours behind.
I was after 8 o'clock this morning here. Been up barely an hour. Captain Joe says Paul It was an open box from Adorama camera. Only thing was needed to unbind the R2S from your smart control and rebind the new one. Uh,
Well, wasn't there a thing where supposedly it was already bound to somebody's account? You guys had to fix it? And you're muted, by the way, Paul.
Yes, and it had,
Have any footage on it?
I don't know, I erased everything, but it gave me the data that the guy that owned it had.
Uh-huh.
He had 153 flights with it. And it was a year old.
Oh, wow. A busy little guy, wasn't he? Was it in good shape though? Screen looked good and everything?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like new, but it wasn't just sitting on a shelf somewhere.
Well, it means whoever owned it took care of it though.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gusting up to around 28 mile an hour right now, it says, but it's gonna drop down during the day.
Well,
Like-
either that or the company was refurbishing them and forgot to delete the guy's stuff off of it. That could have been it too.
Well, it wasn't. The way it was packaged, I don't think that it was just a refurbish.
Okay, cause yeah, I've seen where companies have sent stuff out that they refurbished, but they forgot to, factory reset it back to default. And they would send it out to somebody and it'd still have a lock code or something on it, and then the person would have to send it back to get it fixed or get another one. Hold on, Lori. Oh yeah, I have that too.
But it worked good.
It's that little sidebar of emoji things they added, Lord, to when you're on the phone. I've had that for a while now. It is a little annoying sometimes. I always just close it out.
Yep.
Fucking chair. Curtis said back in the day, we used to get test footage from DJI, just random stuff that they forgot to erase before they sold it. They told me it was an open box and in excellent condition. Did not know it was pre-owned glass working for you. I mean, as long as you got a good deal on it and Paul says it's in good shape, you're good to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Not getting old, Rod. It's this shitty chair. Like I said, I was actually looking at like executive chairs, kind of like what Paul has. I just don't want something that looks like it's supposed to be in an office. But executive chairs are super comfortable. I have sat in my fair share of those. Yeah. Yeah. That's why we were laughing at Sean the other night. We were like, Sean spent like $5 grand building his damn computer. But yeah, he's got the shittiest little like $50 office chair that's just all falling apart and stuff in his studio area, little building room. I'm the executive in my house, so I get the executive chair. Like I said, they're comfortable chairs for sure. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't want something. I want something a little bit more modern looking.
No, you think you're the executive.
Hey, Mr. David.
Oh,
What?
well,
Like I said, they're comfortable chairs for sure. You're playing YouTube. Amateur hour.
shut up. I'm allowed to make mistakes. You all do.
Well, if you go by Laura's theory, then none of us are allowed to make mistakes.
Bite me.
Don't steal my catchphrase.
That was said with vigor, wasn't it?
She's already running around saying chicken nuggets and freedom fries.
Yeah, but that bite me was sensed with the anger of a crocodile. It's like, bring it on.
Oh yeah, for sure, David. That's going to be a hell of a project. That's a big plane to print. David's building this big ass F-35 art, and it's so you can buy all the components for it, so you can actually fly it. But it's really big.
Oh,
Curtis said you're looking at buying the Fifi or Fee Fish or whatever Evo that would make 5 ROVs. You haven't even been out lately, have you there, Curtis? Because usually you're doing live and stuff like that, or when you're going down, or haven't seen anything. So
Actually, got a good deal, about $100 off, 6 months. Same as
Good for them.
cash on them.
you're thinking takeaway, aren't you?
Actually consider buying the fly 5 fish.
Probably can't. I know exactly where you were going.
Well, let me ask you something, Curtis. So are you kind of getting into that point where a lot of people do with drones, where are you
Yeah.
actually using all of them?
yeah.
Or are you just buying them because you want the latest ones and some of them are sitting on the shelf collecting dust? There's a lot of people buy, they'll get 6 or 7 drones and they end up only flying 1 or 2 of them. I know when I had when I was up to 4, the only one I flew 90% of the time was the Air 2.
Yeah, I just gotta get used to the little quirks on it, as far as settings go.
Oh,
It's very similar to the original smart controller, but it's just a little bit different. But it worked perfect. Once AZ and I were on the phone for quite a while. What he did, what helped was he went and got his, and then he would able to tell me to go to this screen, go to that screen, go to do this, do that. And it really, really helped me.
David,
and-
are you? Go ahead.
And a big thanks to Joe Merica for sending that to me. And a big thanks also to AZ for helping me, because I need all the help I can get, right?
Only do.
David, are you doing all electric or is it gonna be like a turbine? Or are you going with like actual like fuel gas powered? Can't swap batteries. so it's
Turbine
still
electric.
used.
Huh.
Do what?
Isn't turbine electric?
No, they're like
This is
turbine.
like the Canadians saying that their electric's called hydro.
No, a turbine
Turbines
jet engine.
are normally powered by water or wind to generate electricity. There's no gas involved. Don't put a gas near a turbine.
No, you have turbine jet engines though. The turbine is just the blades of the engine.
The engine.
Yes, it's the same kind of design. It's just there's
Well,
different methods of powering it.
You
But the
mean more?
turbines are
Justin,
just the
did you
blades.
see the big news article talking about electric powered vehicles? Is all of the automakers now are saying they're going to stop putting AM radios in their cars because the AM radio seems to screw up the electric vehicles.
Well, it's like who the fuck even listens to AM radio anyway?
Well, a lot of people use it for news or weather, whatever, but
Yeah, but I mean, really, do we need FM and AM anymore? Or just transition everything to FM? Like,
Well,
cause if you go to the AM stations, there's only a handful of them. And it's usually like weird ass radio stations anyway, like conspiracy channels.
well, the thing of it is the AM stations you'll find out in the middle of the country more prevalent because of AM signals go further than FM signals.
how
I
far
don't know.
are you guys in the world? We have digital radio now. Doesn't matter if it's AM or FM, it's all digital.
Well, all the AM and FM radio stations have a digital version of their radio stations, but they still have the original. Like if you get in the car, you can tune your radio to a specific station,
Yeah,
but
like 1450 or whatever. Yeah.
but like say 92.3 Rock FM, they actually have
We've moved on from that.
what it's called iHeartRadio. You can download the iHeartRadio app and it has all the radio stations on there. And you can listen to their shows through that if you want. They have you kind of have a choice of either or. But I mean, I don't really see the point in AM and FM anymore anyway. I think it's kind of an old dead technology, doesn't? I mean, I see it being used for emergency purposes. But as far as radio stations and stuff, there isn't no reason why they shouldn't just go all digital. To me, it seems like kind of I don't know. Doesn't really seem necessary anymore.
This is why we have to have these services now that, send a message to your phone. Unfortunately,
He cut out. Yeah, he was about to tell us something about the man and they cut him out.
Laura probably slapped him in the back of the head.
Yeah, he was about to tell the king's secret. They were like, nope, we're not having none of that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Curtis says, like we're all used to swapping our batteries on our aircraft.
Yeah.
You can't do that with ROVs. So he has to have more ROVs if he wants to go someplace.
So the batteries are just built in?
They're built internally. Yep.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess, because then you'd have to have a sealed battery door and you always have a potential of it leaking. Yeah, it makes sense why they wouldn't allow swappable batteries.
You see what AG printed there, Paul?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're sitting here on the desk. Sorry, AZ.
You didn't send me this. Yeah, he just wants to make sure you have the sticks and he didn't lose them.
Yeah, they were over tucked on the desk over here. I forgot to
Shit, he's
screw
got
them
a,
back on, yeah.
he's probably got 200 sets of those sticks anyway, so. Ain't no big deal. Plus you can use, I mean, all this, the DJI controllers that he has and the Alto controllers, cause we all figured out that you can swap them back and forth. They're
Some
the
of them you
same thread.
can, what I noticed was in the new controller, it doesn't, it's, I don't know how to explain it, but you can't use like Air 2 or Mavic sticks because they got just these little bitty pin sticks on there and you have to screw them on very carefully and they don't go on like they're normal because they're not deep. And the other sticks have like a little down in the bottom, like a little cone, and then it goes, you screw it on.
David or Curtis said chasing has an M2. The battery you can swap, but the second battery costs as much. Yeah, you might as well just buy a second ROV at that point and have a redundancy one.
Yeah,
If it's gonna cost the same as buying the brand new one. Cause you'll get a battery with it too, so. It's a better deal just to do that. That's what I was saying, Curtis. Kind of makes sense, right? Cause then there's a lot more parts that you have to seal up and battery doors and there's always that potential of it leaking.
back, let me go look here. Ugh, right back.
Let me know if you need any parts or accessories for your drone so I can put them for you, Captain Joe. Okay? So David's offering to print you some parts for your drones, Joe. And he does really good jobs with that.
See, here's the original controller. Okay. And when you take the stick out, see, it goes in like that,
Right?
but on that the new controller, let me go get it.
I still can't believe Curtis hasn't gotten into 3D printing with the ROVs and the drones and everything. That'd be right up his alley.
Here's the new controller. I'm gonna take the stick out. See how it's actually got a little hole
Oh,
in it?
yeah. Is the threads actually on the joystick piece, yeah.
And so what it is it's just a little nub sticking out and the threads are on the,
I think that's the way if I remember correctly, I think the Spark controller's like that too.
yeah, I don't know. But
Yeah.
that's here's the Air 2.
I'm pretty sure the Spark
There's no
controller is.
hole in the center of it, so it just goes in and screws in.
It was either the Spark or might have been the Mini One controller.
And the other thing that I noticed is, oh yeah, there is a place for sticks here.
Yeah.
That's where I got the sticks. It had the 2 sticks in here.
I had one. No, wasn't the Spark. I had a controller that had sticks like that. I just can't remember which one it was. Might have been that cheaper Potenza drone I had too. I can't remember that. That wouldn't be advertising that, David, if you're trying to 3D print people stuff. Just saying.
That don't sound good there, Laura. I want to jump into David's router. On not in. On not in.
Yeah, Joe, I had one that was like that. I just can't remember what controller it was. But I did have one that had that similar setup as the Alto. It might have been that cheap drone that I had a long time ago. I just can't remember.
Yeah, good, yeah. Feel ready for a nap already. Tired this morning.
Happy time?
Yeah, I'm getting tired for some reason this morning, but
What
Here's,
happened to?
Here's
happened
here's two Mavic batteries, okay?
What happened to David, Laura?
I don't have the Mavics anymore. But they still, that one still got a partial charge. And that one still got a partial charge. But they're much bigger, heavier battery.
Which drone was that for?
I think the Mavic 2,
The Mavic 2 Pro?
yeah.
I didn't even know you had that drone.
Oh, I've had so many different ones. But these suckers are a lot heavier than the other ones.
Oh yeah, the newer batteries are using lighter materials.
And you know when I got these batteries? I got the date printed on the back.
oh, 2018, yeah, August 29th. Yeah.
But they're probably still good. I just don't know anybody that has these kind of batteries.
Well, those are for the Pro 2. There's plenty of people we know that those Pro 2s you could send them to.
Yeah.
Ron's one of them. Ron has one.
There should be a model number on it. You can trace it to see what kind of battery, you know.
I think he said it was the Pro 2. I don't know. He just said he thinks the Pro. I don't know. I didn't recognize him.
Here's a portable battery charger. It's for the Zoom. That's what it was on. The Mavic Zoom. And here's the when I bought that sucker, what was the date of that?
Oh, so it was for the Zoom then.
The Zoom, yeah.
Okay, so there's Zoom batteries. I'm sure somebody in here has one.
And this is you charge this up
That's
and
a
then you
smart
can
tree
charge the
charger.
batteries in the field.
Yeah, it's a smart tree charger. They sell those on Amazon. They're actually pretty good prices. You can get one for the Air 2 and Air 2S for like $80. And they'll charge up your batteries, I think like through set of 2, like 3 times
Yep.
on one charge.
He said he has a Mavic 2 Zoom Pro and Enterprise. Send it over. You have extra.
Okay, I can send that to you, AZ.
Joe, yeah, the last night was a cluster on the panel. Oh my God, there was like, what was it, like 9 or 10 people at one time, and everybody. Oh my God, it was clusterfuck last night. All I gotta say. Yeah, like 6 different people with accents all talking over each other.
Oh,
Was a bit of a reach, was it?
It just sounded like. Oh my God. I mean, it was funny though. I was sitting there just laughing half the time, like listening to these guys talk. But yeah, it was a bit of a mess last night.
I still got the I still have the Autel Net,
That takes lifetime points back.
Plus for sale. I haven't had any calls on that.
The what?
My brand new one.
What did you put it on Facebook?
Yeah, Marketplace.
Oh, if anybody's interested in that still, Paul's got it brand new in the box, never flown. Buy more kit. I'll tell Nano, 500 bucks. Goes for 750 brand new. Did you see when I muted everybody? Oh my god. I was trying to answer Curtis last night and nobody would shut up, so I just went in and I hit mute off. I was like, I just muted everybody and I was like, all right, everybody shut up.
Really?
And so like I said,
You see that guy down over in New York there, that he did the chokehold on that guy and he ended up dying, that one guy, that Marine veteran. They started like a GoFundMe, but it's called Give Send Go. They raised over $1.5 million already for that guy.
and what was he getting money raised for?
Well, for his defense, because that guy was charged, that veteran, that Marine veteran,
Uh-huh.
charged in the death of the man.
And the guy that died, okay, it was black. The Marine is white. He was attacking people on the subway. He's
Okay.
been arrested 10 times for attacking people and stealing from people and doing all kinds of things. And so the police declined to do it. Everybody declined to do it except that new woke prosecutor in New York City
Yeah, but-
decided to charge him with homicide.
Okay, but what did he do though? That's my point.
He put a chokehold on the
Put a
guy.
chokehold on him to hold him until the police got there.
It took
Did he-
15 minutes for the police to arrive.
Did he kill him?
Yeah, the guy.
Ended up dying.
Oh, fuck it, who cares?
Well, but anyway,
Well, the family does because they're looking for a big payday out of New York City.
So sue the city for not doing their fucking job. I'm sorry, but I hate New York. I
Yeah.
hate their police departments. I hate everything about New York.
But so far, to help that veteran, they raised $1.5 million already to pay for his legal defense and all that shit. 1.5 million already. No, just in a few days. One donor, what they say, was over $10,000.
I've always wanted to go there and try some original gumbo. Joe, I've never had legit gumbo. Yeah, that was funny, Curtis. That was when I was trying to talk to you and they wouldn't shut the hell up, so I muted everybody. Well, the problem was Tim was drinking, Bill was drinking, Mike was drinking, so they were all talking over each other. I mean, when you're drinking, you tend to just
You're focused on what you want to say, not what anybody else is saying.
right. And when all three of them were talking, oh my god, it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I noticed that. It
That
was,
was, I was
all you
laughing.
heard was it sounded like a beehive.
Yeah, I don't like New York at all. Like, I don't like the NYPD. I think they're one of the most corrupt, non-constitutional police departments in the country. They have no respect for anybody's rights and they don't know how to do their fucking jobs. Because down here, the police would never put up with tyrannical laws. And you know what I'm saying? Like if the state stepped in tomorrow and told the sheriff down here or the police chiefs down here, oh, you have to go and take everybody's guns, or you have to go do this, or you're allowed to just stop and frisk people without no probable cause, they'd tell you to go fuck off. because it's not constitutional. And they do their jobs by they respect people's rights. I can't stand the NYPD. They're fucking crap.
Yeah,
They do whatever the hell the city tells them to, and they just go along with it instead of standing up to the city and saying, we're not doing this. Lord. I mean, I've always loved like New York City as just what it is as far as the city. I've always loved like the skyline and everything. And when I was younger, I always, if I said I ever got rich, I would love to have a nice apartment in New York City as like a getaway spot, right? But not nowadays, no. Exactly. Like they should have, the police department should have stepped in for that Marine.
oh,
But
definitely.
but that's what I'm saying is they have laws up there that protect the criminals. Like
My picks
criminals doing something illegal, you step in and prevent it, then they arrest you for inconveniencing the criminal. When you should be getting a pat on the back and saying good job and getting accommodation from the city. Fucking
Yep.
waste of space gets killed because he wants to do something stupid. And then some guy that Marine's oath for the military. Protect from all foreign and domestic aggressors, period. Dude was doing his job as a citizen and ex-military. As like I said, if he was down here in Florida and he did that shit, the sheriff would have been given a pat on the back and telling him, good job. You did what you were supposed to do. You did what you had to do. And the state would have backed him up on it too.
Yeah, it's just, it's,
Cherry, Laura. Cherry Pepsi. I like cherry Pepsi and Coke, but cherry Dr. Pepper, ugh. That's one of the few sodas I don't like.
not good, huh?
To me, it's just that Dr. Pepper taste with the cherry. It just has this cough syrupy taste to it, and I don't like it. Yeah, that's the truth, Edward. They don't want to enforce the laws that they actually already have on a lot of their books. They just do whatever the hell they want, and people let them get away with it. Florida's about to pass a law right now that says that they're all state and local police departments are not allowed to take any part in any kind of federal gun legislation. What they're doing is so like 34 states have already refused to help the federal government with any kind of gun laws or enforcing them or anything like that. What's up, Dustin? Like, and I don't even care if you're Democrat or Republican. You just do your job by what the law states you're supposed to do. All I ask you to do, I don't care what your political. As long as you're following, if you're a prosecutor, you prosecute to the laws that you're supposed to enforce. Period.
Protect the public's interest but don't violate people's rights.
Well, what I'm saying is,
But now they focus on the bad guys' rights. Not the general public's rights, the right to defend yourself, the right to protect your family, protect your goods, protect your property, all those kinds of things.
well,
That's gone out the window.
That's what I'm saying, like if a prosecutor, I don't care if they're a liberal or not, if they're doing their job exactly to the letter of the law of whatever state or county, whatever they're living in. And if that's not doing what you think should be done, then that's when you guys vote on your local and state laws to change things.
Well, that goofy
Or-
barmaid AOC is the one that called him out to prosecute. You know, the state US Congressman.
Just waiting on answer on when and how long you want those pics to show on the video edit. I mean, just like 10 seconds, I don't know. What I was trying to do, Dustin, so I was trying to do like when you're flying around through the city, that city video, like you would just kind of see the logos pop up on the buildings type thing. You know, for the cyberpunk video, flight video. I don't know, dude, just do whatever you think will work and send me it. Cause it's better than what I'm gonna do. I don't really give a shit at this point. I got so frustrated with it. Yeah, yeah, like on the billboards, yeah, exactly, Dustin. That's what I was going for, but like I said, whatever you can do is better than what I was gonna do, so. Yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking about it, kind of like how you did, Curtis. We were actually talking about that. I kind of wanted a similar thing because I got some flight footage from Cyberpunk. And because that's like one of the newest games that's got really good graphics. I was gonna do some flight footage from GTA 5, but the graphics are just a little out of date, and unfortunately my server doesn't have the new graphics mod, so we're supposed to be getting it soon, but there is a graphics mod for GTA 5 that makes it look like Cyberpunk. Like it just has that kind of coloring and everything. So that was the only game I could pull footage from. Yeah, similar like that, because yeah, I was kind of using the video you did as kind of inspiration on that. Kind of a similar thing. Uh, well, let's hope so, Joe. Like I said down here, he wouldn't even got arrested. He'd have been home the same day after he did his interview. I'll see what I had to do is go in the police station, make a statement with the cops, talk to the detectives, and he would have been home the same day. I could already see it now. Grady Judd doing his news statement. There's nothing political about choking somebody out when you're saving lives. That's exactly what he would have said. Uh,
Well, what's that other case where some correctional officers were trying to get a wacko to put him in a holding center, and they ended up struggling with him. Now they're suing for $15 million.
Yeah.
And it's all on video where he was fighting back, and they said he has mental problems. And then when they finally got him in there and shut the glass doors, he ran headfirst into the glass doors.
well, you notice all these lawsuits and these crazy stories, they're only coming out of states that allow that crap. You don't hear, like, if somebody gets shot down here by the police, you don't even hear about it half the time. Because it's not a political thing down here. You shot at the cops, they shot and killed you, done and closed case. We're not gonna make a big deal about it, and the state's not gonna allow you to come in and do some bullshit lawsuit over a justified killing. There's a lot of states where this is happening all the time, where cops are shooting people that shot at them and it was legal. And you don't hear about it because those states aren't politicizing it.
Yeah.
They're not pandering to that.
It's where the criminals are victims and the victims are the criminals.
Right, but you see that kind of shit going on in California, New York. Even some places, some areas where Curtis lives, that happens. I don't know about all of Washington, but I know, some parts of Washington do have their own problems, same with Oregon. Let me see.
I'm gonna take off, Paul. I'm gonna go lay down for a little while, so
Okay, buddy.
I get a little tired this morning for some reason, but go
Yeah.
have a little nap. And then, well, today's laundry day, so I got to do that today too. So,
I'll forward you the link.
but anyway, catch you guys later. Eh?
Okay, Paul.
All right.
I'll forward you the link, Curtis, but it might take a couple minutes to download before the link will let you download it. We give it anywhere between two. Sometimes it could be 30 seconds or it might take 5 minutes. But it's a Samsung link for my phone.
Kind of quiet this morning, Dustin. Justin,
Honestly, I was surprised there's that many people in here today.
I got, but it just popped in my head. We haven't, oh yeah, I see Dustin is already, okay.
We kind of did all our Mother's Day stuff last night, so. We went and got Sarah stuff yesterday, and then the kids got excited. They wanted to give it to her yesterday, so she got it last night. Cause they didn't want to wait till today, so. But they got her a nice bonsai tree for her desk.
Uh-huh.
Because they got her cactuses last year. They each got her a little cactus, one for each of the kids. In a really nice pot, so for her desk at work. And then they got her a really nice Mother's Day card. And then they got 2 of her favorite scratch offs because she likes doing the crosswords. So they got her 2 of those. And then they got her a big old nice new body pillow with a really nice looking body pillowcase. Because she wanted a new body pillow. So
Little Amalora just says I have 0 home internet.
yeah, they're just running off their cells shit right now.
Well, wasn't she planning on going live this afternoon?
Yeah, but it might not,
It might clear up before then.
it could. Take you to dinner, what? Well, we had dinner last night, yeah, we made a big dinner last night. I had pork chops, mashed potatoes, lima beans, corn on the cob. It's pretty good.
Poke chops, huh?
Yeah, big old thick ones on the bone.
So what's your plan today, Justin?
I'm just gonna hang out with Sarah here in a little bit, and then I might jump on. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to Laura's right away. She first starts, but maybe a little bit later.
Laura's on at what time Eastern time, do you know?
2 p.m. today, because she's not going on till 7 her time. 7
Okay,
6.
2 p.m. All right.
Be 2 p.m. Eastern. Trying to think what else. I think that was all that they got her.
AZ says the kids are taking them to dinner tonight, but he says I'm not going.
Oh, in reality, David, I mean, in your defense,
Not Father's
she's-
Day, it's Mother's Day.
she's not your mother, she's your kid's mother, so the kids should take her out, so.
Yeah. Well, I see that the news,
Mark?
did you see Fox News is showing now that because of that moratorium is up yesterday, the Texas National Guard has deployed all of their people on the border and put razor wire up and everything. And loudspeakers are telling people, do not cross.
Yeah. They actually been deploying some of their National Guard for a while now.
Yeah, well, I guess they got really serious overnight because it showed pictures of barrier of razor wire just as you get to shore.
David said I'll end up paying if I go. What's up, Mark? Did they ever finish the wall? Because they said Texas put up, what was it, like $1 billion or something, and they were buying a bunch of old shipping containers. And they were gonna finish off where they stopped the wall at, and they were gonna double stack shipping containers all the way down
Well,
the border.
I think they did some of that, but not all of it.
I never did hear anything about it after, because he signed the bill and the law and everything down there. And he.
You know, if they'd have
said-
continued on with Trump's wall project, we would have had a border wall by now.
I'm just glad that they reinforced the old wall, fixed the old shit and got pretty far. Cause they were averaging, I think, a mile a day is what they were averaging.
Yep.
Around a mile a day. But, yeah, I don't know how far Texas got on that because they actually signed a bill in that was for $1 billion. I think it was $1 billion. And it was to buy a bunch of shipping containers. They were just gonna start double stacking them all the way down.
You see what AZ put in there? If I don't go, my wife is paying either way. I pay the anyhow dinner.
Oh, those kids shouldn't be making her pay for it. You better tell him, David. Don't
Probably,
switch him.
you know, what it is probably his wife's idea. She's just so tickled to death to have them all out to dinner that she's gonna pick up the tab. That's her nature.
Yeah, moms don't care as long as they get to hang out with their babies.
Yep. Well, what do you think, Justin? You want to go hang with the wife?
Yeah, I can do that.
I guess
Moves pretty slow.
we might as well shut it down.
Alright. I'll see everybody a little bit later, I guess.
AZ said, going to take her credit card away so so they end up paying.
Why? Watch him get arrested because they have no money and his wife's looking for a credit card in her purse.
Oh,
I
Bert.
know I had it. I know I had it.
Bert, David is back.
Yep.
Well, what happened to your internet?
Well, I thought there was a problem with the signal, but it's not. It turns out the power cable's faulty. So when you touch the router, turns it off.
The router?
Router.
Is that an English thing?
That's an
Another word
English
for your
thing, yeah.
booty?
Sure, it's the router.
It's a
A
router.
router.
A router.
No, router.
You mean the router?
No, router. Only you guys call it a router. A router is a tool for
Well,
cutting down corners.
Yeah,
A
but
router.
we invented the internet, so we can call it whatever we want.
Right.
No, you didn't.
Rooter is what Justin's show was about yesterday.
Oh god, dude, that was a fucking nightmare, but it was funny at the same time. I couldn't sit there but just sit there and laugh half the time. I was like, oh my god.
What was you doing to poor Tim?
Nothing. There was like fucking 25 people on the panel, and you gotta remember, there's like 6 different accents within the panel as well.
You got 25 people on the panel. Curtis, you're muted. Muted.
Yeah, your mic cut out while you were talking.
Mic went. Mic went.
Really?
But now I can hear YouTube. I hear feedback. I don't think it's
Shouldn't
YouTube.
hear it.
It's
Okay.
not you.
I don't hear it now.
It's.
Is it
you
working
know what?
now?
It's a
Yeah.
problem with the router.
Yeah, the router.
And David said Rooter with a question mark, or Dustin did.
Well, at least you
So,
know.
Justin, what is it?
How to spell it?
What is it you want done?
Kind of like I was actually using the video you did as kind of a reference point because I kind of like the way you did that. And I was
Mhm.
so I was thinking of some like flight footage, game footage that I could use. And like I said, I wanted to use some GTA stuff, but it's just kind of outdated looking because the graphics are, it's a 10-year-old game, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
why I started looking at the Cyberpunk stuff. And so I was able to get some footage from that. And I kind of just was gonna do that because I already got music I'm gonna use, but kind of like where Sean would come up and it would just be his logo and say, Edge FPV co-host somewhere, and then Tim as a
Mhm.
co-host, and then kind of my logo in there, and then Saturday Night Tech somewhere in there. Just those 4 things is kind of what I was going for.
Yes, Joe,
It only
I agree.
needs-
I agree. It was giving everybody a headache, all the accents talking over each other.
It only needs to be at most 2 minutes long. It doesn't need to be very long.
Well, the whole thing is 2 minutes long.
Right. It could be like a minute, minute and a half. It really doesn't matter.
Okay, so Dustin sent me three photos. I'm guessing you want those on there.
Yeah, the
And
one
then
of them,
and then what else did you want on there?
one of them's my logo, I think, right? That I sent them?
Yeah, that with the strike bomber on there, whatever it is, the 2 flags and a dragon.
Yeah, the flag one is Tim's logo and the dragon is Sean's logo. Edge FPV.
Is it
Okay.
just me, or is Curtis having like a 1 second delay on his
He is.
voice and picture?
Yeah, he is. It's not you. I noticed that too.
Because
He's
your
having-
lips start moving
weird.
and then we hear you.
Okay,
Yep. Yeah, that was.
that's kind of bizarre.
No.
If I was on acid right now, I'd really be freaking out.
Just so you're aware, that's his voice being routed around the internet.
Yeah, I'm out of here with that shit. All right, hold on.
So you're blaming his router or his router?
My router. Are you saying my router is
If it
too big?
goes
'Cause I'm sitting there
routing,
watching and
the
everything's set
router.
up on my end.
Okay, say something and we'll see if it picked up now.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Test. Router. David likes his router.
No, you still have a delay on our end.
Yep.
But that
Wow.
was,
The video's delayed compared to the voice.
and I just sent you the 4th picture.
I like what he did it
There you go.
Now, because we can't see him, we can't see a delay. So
Well, that's he's smart enough to figure that out. I think that's maybe
Yeah.
what his choice is.
But when you actually are looking at somebody with a delay, even though their voices is still on the same time as you, it does screw with you because you know what I'm saying? Just a visual.
Well,
of it
it's your
can mess
brain.
with
Your
you.
brain isn't equating what the hell it should be. You know.
to be honest, we could have done with
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Still a video delay.
Yeah.
Not for me, there isn't.
For me and Paul,
Yep.
there's clearly at least a 5-second delay
5 seconds.
between 3 to 5 seconds. Yeah. It's kind
That's a hell of a long time.
I had the same problem when I was over on somebody else's show about a week ago. I had the same issue. I was the only one on the panel doing it.
That's all right. Just continue on, Curtis. We'll just everybody know that that's what's going on.
Just ignore it.
There's not a problem.
I sent you the fourth picture that I was gonna use. But yeah,
Okay, that's working.
Yeah.
Oh, now it looks like it's synced up again.
It's been synced up for ages. I think you guys have been watching YouTube. On
Testing
mute.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yep,
6, 7,
you're
8,
good.
9, 10.
yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
It could have just been a slow connection issue too, though.
No, so my setup is because I do all the audio stuff, I do all my own recording. I actually have I have 3 sound cards, and it throws the computer off sometimes.
Okay.
And I got to figure out which one is it using. It's like Zoom and StreamYard, sometimes they pick the wrong one.
And you
But
bounce around.
I've got one sound card for my guitars and keyboards, one for my mic, and then I have one that's built into the computer itself. And it was picking the one up that I use for my guitars this time.
Well, and when you bounce back and forth between StreamYard and Zoom, even with basic shit in your computer, it fucks it up. You have to go in and readjust it every time.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm just staying off. It's like I don't really want to screw with it. There should be an easier way to do it. And eventually I'll probably figure it out what it is, but it's like it's not the major part of my day, so I don't address it a lot.
Okay.
So you got 2 minutes worth of video. You just want those things at a random spot somewhere.
Yeah, just like I said,
I mean, do you want the whole video, or just do you want
it could just
just the cuts with that in there?
I mean, you could just do a continuous fly, whatever's easy. At this point, I don't really care because I can't figure out how to do it myself. I've tried messing with a bunch of editing apps. I'll take whatever the hell you guys can come up with it, because at this point, it would look awesome to me anyway. I don't understand how all that works, so.
I mean, I kind of so
whatever you can do, whatever.
with the cyberpunk thing, you've got all these different glows and neons and greens and oranges and stuff. So the logos will stick out like they don't necessarily belong there. So I almost want to rebuild the logos too,
whatever you feel like you need.
so that they will have glows and look like they fit within the scene. You know,
Right.
When you cut
rather than just being an overlay, Curtis, is that what you're saying?
right, if you just put it on there, it's not going to look right. Like if there's you pick a spot that's in the video and say, okay, there's a billboard there, I want to replace it, and you put something over it. Well, there's still the orange glow from the billboard.
Right.
And if your logo's not orange, it's going to look weird. I mean, it's going to look kind of amateurish. I mean, it depends on what you want. I like to do quality work.
Like I said, whatever you come up with, dude, is going to be better than what I did. So.
Yeah, but see, my name's going to be on it.
Yeah, but that's going to be something that you feel comfortable with. I don't. At this point, dude, whatever you come up with, I'm sure I'd be happy with. I've seen your work, so.
Well, I'm glad you guys referenced Philly for this.
I did. Like when I was thinking of it, I was trying to do. I worked on this for like a week using. I tried DaVinci. I tried Power Director, and I don't understand. Editing is not my thing. I don't like editing. I'm not into it.
Well, it's not editing. It's actually called compositing. You're taking several different things and compositing them into a video. And what you have to do, it's called camera tracking, and you tell the computer to track certain pixels on the screen.
Uh-huh.
And usually it's like 20 or 30 pixels. You'll pick out some pixels and have it track it, or track a plane, like the side of a building is a plane. You have it track that so that it creates a virtual camera that actually tracks the motion.
Right.
That way when you put something in there, you can. I'm trying to explain this to you, and you're like not quite getting it.
I'm listening. I don't understand because like I've never done that stuff, and like I said, I tried playing around with it. I watched a couple videos, and I
think you can do it with DaVinci. I don't work with DaVinci. I'm just an old school guy that works with After Effects, and After Effects has a planar tracker called Mocha. Don't ask me why they call it Mocha, but that's what I use for a lot of that city tracking stuff.
Like I said, I've seen your work and you do really good stuff. So whatever you come up with, dude, I'm sure I'd be happy with. So. I'm not a
Well-
picky person. I just getting frustrated because I've tried to do it myself and it's not, I'm not vibing with the programs. So, I guess I just don't have the passion like you and Matt and everybody else does with this kind of stuff, you know?
I don't
I
know that
tried.
it's not necessarily here. Let's kind of, do you mind if we watch this and you kind of
Go
tell me
ahead.
what you're interested in?
Not passion, it's more ability.
Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't share the,
Make sure you hit the little boxes.
right. But I need to mute this so that, because he's not using this.
No, I'm not using that. Like I said, I got approved music through
So
YouTube.
this threw me. I was like, you want me to do something with this?
No, that, I know somebody that had the video that let me use it, so that's what I was saying. And it's not really,
I actually have this 3D model. I have the actual one from the actual movie Blade Runner. Okay, so not that. 'cause
no,
I-
it would start right after this. So when it comes into scene now,
Hello,
so
Ron.
right here.
Morning. Morning.
okay, so in that one you could just have it floating out here and revolving, and that would be okay.
Right,
You know, like right. Can you see my
Yeah.
cursor?
yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
so
it.
so we could do one right here, just kind of revolving. That would be easy enough. See, like if you replace this one right here, this mix it up one, even if you cut that out, you see that glow that's around it.
Right,
If you put something there, that
the glow's still gonna be there. Your mic
You
cut
have
out
a
again.
background that matches the glow of the background there.
Curtis, your mic cut out again.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, good morning.
Paul,
Yeah.
your ability with technology is contagious. We're all suffering with it now.
I'm going old school. I'm just going to use the damn webcam. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, we can hear you.
All right. So anyway, just to replace this would not actually work. You'd need to, because there's a glow around there. So whatever goes here needs to have that particular kind of glow. Like
Right,
it's kind of an
Oh.
orange. This is the blue. See it, you can really see it here in this with the white.
yeah,
If you put something here, it needs to be white and have that kind of glow to it. So that's one of the things to consider. That would be an easy trackable one right there. So that kind of looked bad right there. I would cut that where you went through the building. See right
uh-huh.
here.
Well, like I said, I don't understand how a lot of this works, like what would be a good shot, what wouldn't,
So
so.
there would be a good shot right here for something in the middle, kind of floating. And then that would be easy enough. That would make sense. Right. See the glow around that tiger? That would have been a good spot to do one where the tiger is, but now whatever you put there needs to have that red. I can cut the
Right.
tiger out, but cutting
The-
that glow out, then you're cutting the building out. So whatever you
Right.
put there needs to cover that
And
spot.
that red glow, he actually goes right up the side of the building, shadows.
Exactly.
Cause like at this point, I kinda have to go with whatever you know works, because you know the
So I'm
software. I
kind
don't.
of setting you up for the expectation of what it's going to take. Like the Spanky Monkey is kind of a cool one over here, but again, you get that glow over here. So let me take a look at it.
Okay,
I don't really know what you're looking for at this point.
this is like, it's like your doctor saying, well, how do you think I should cut your heart valve? I have no fucking clue, dude. Just you figure it out. I have no idea.
Question is, what that
You
doctor wants to
said you sent me some stuff here. Let's see.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like when doctors explain shit to you and then they ask you, well, what do you think you want to do? I don't know. You tell me, you're the doctor.
So you said the Saturday Night Tech. I could rebuild that in 3D and put that on there, and that'll look.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do. So I don't, like I said, it's because you know what's gonna work, how. All that.
What is this Intel versus AMD thing?
It was just the logo I pulled.
And that you want that in there?
I mean, if you can, if not, you don't really have to worry about it.
Well, everything that, I mean, for me to be happy with the end result, which is unfortunately kind of what you have to put up with, because I don't want people going, oh, that was crap, Kurt. So I'm gonna have to rebuild everything that we put into this thing, which is not a problem. I just need to know what you want. I mean, if it's not something you want, I don't want to spend time building it.
No. Like I said, I'm not stuck on the way the logos work or anything. Whatever, however you have to do it to make it work is fine with me. I'm not picky. I'm just,
I don't want to step on One Vision's toes either.
Week one later.
I think he was still working on it. He said he wanted to try it anyway. But see, he's using, what the hell program is he using? Adobe Premiere, I think.
No, he would be using After Effects. It's all, when you have the Adobe suite, you have all of it. When you pay the subscription, you actually get all of it.
Oh, is that part of Adobe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And they dynamically link together. So you can create your edit in Premiere and then you can select a clip and open it up in After Effects, make your changes, close After Effects, and it will update in Premiere the changes you made.
He said,
Give me-
he's talking to you in the chat too. He said
Okay,
he'll-
no worries. You're better than. No, I'm not better. I've just done it longer. Maybe it's not a contest.
Yeah, but out of all the people I've seen doing like that, just trying to do intros and stuff, you have been the best one I've seen on here so far. Like, I don't know about Dustin, because I've said like the one that Dustin did was pretty cool for his channel, and that's why he was interested in trying to do it. I think it was more of him just testing his abilities to see if he could do it. Type thing, because I don't, like I said, I tried and I just got super frustrated.
Yeah, with all the cars flying through the scenes and stuff, that makes it more complicated because those pixels are moving within the scene and you got to go through and remove those, the 3D cars and stuff.
Right.
I tend to want to just go ahead and build a cyberpunk kind of scene. I've been doing that for my channel. Have you guys seen the stuff I did on my channel on the new one?
The one you just recently put out?
No, one of the later ones. I did some cyberpunk car stuff and a few things like that.
Yeah, I think you showed us on Paul's channel not too long ago. If I remember correctly. Cause I remember you were showing us the one you did for Mikey too, and I kind of said it reminded me of Cyberpunk. Kind of had that same feel to it.
Which is the one?
I mean, like I said, you don't even have to use the scene I sent you. Whatever you feel like you need to do to make it work, just fucking do it, dude. I'm not picky, and I know I'd be happy with it, so. Cause if I built something and I put it side by side to yours, it'd look like absolute garbage, I'm telling you.
So these are 3D buildings I built. This was supposed to be a recreation from Blade Runner 2024 or 2049. The Atari logo where it kind of bends down and looks at the Atari logo.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't seen this video.
I don't know why I have it muted. Getting the rain to go in the right direction and follow the camera. On the new wall thing. Like the first movie. There's the clip. I can do
Yeah,
whatever I want.
the video sound is a little bit loud.
Yeah, it's alright. There you go.
Put it down to
Yeah, yeah.
halfway.
It was drowning over your voice.
All right.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, my blimp, I can put whatever I want in here. That makes it a little bit easier if we do something like that.
Right, because you built it from scratch, so you have a little bit more.
Well, we could put the blimp in your video, and then it would be easy to put some logos on that. What else did I do in here? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
And then I did all this right here. I actually advertised Philly's show on this thing.
That is pretty cool, man.
See if I can find it.
You can even put your name at the bottom of it if you want to do it as an advertisement.
Contact me. See, here goes Philly Drone Life, the big show. He didn't ask me to do this. I just did it. And then I animated all these lights and stuff.
And like I said, if you want to put your name like you do at the bottom of it, I'll advertise that you did it. I mean, you have every right if you're the artist of it.
Message. Then it's already too late.
No,
government
if I
has
did something, it would probably be
It
like
was
part of a
never about
billboard.
keeping
It would
the
be
people
subtle.
safe.
Like
It was
mine's,
about
nobody
control.
notices it, but mine's on
It
Philly's
always
thing.
was. Coordinates
My logo's
shall
in
be
his,
sent to
but you
your
can't,
local GPS.
you gotta really look to see it.
End of message.
It's not pronounced.
Yeah, it's not real pronounced. And he used to beat me up about that. Like that flashing neon thing is actually a 3D. This whole scene is actually 3D. I can move these around and rotate them any direction, but that's just a 3D model right there.
Yeah, it's a chick. Ain't it? Yeah. I remember that. I remember that right there when you showed us
How
that.
much do you charge for this sort of work, Curtis? Out of
So there's your other one, where it's that blimp that's flying. See if I can get you a better shot
So
of it.
Curtis, what David's asking is just a roundabout, not holding you to anything. If you were to
$1,000,000.
charge to do such a thing, do you charge by the hour or the project?
It depends. So I've told you guys about this before. I do some work for this construction company in England where they're expanding the basin of the floodplain,
Right?
yeah,
and they needed all this. They had all this drone footage, and they needed all this stuff tracked so that they could put down new markers, virtual markers, saying here's where everything is, here's where we're going to move everything, and then they needed to sell it to the citizens of the town to see if they would foot the bill. So they sent it to me, and I ended up charging them almost $6,000 for it. And that was 2 2-minute videos.
it's Dave, Justin.
That's the high end. Billy, I don't even get to be a moderator on his show.
Are you? You're not a
I'm
moderator
gray
on
all
this
the time. I'm like, oh, at least I stand out.
So, Justin, just make sure that Curtis gets grand the moderator on your prop.
thing? He hasn't.
We don't mean standard moderator. We mean
I love Philly to death. I've been with him for years, and way back before anybody even knew who he was. And he and I have always been friends. And I never could understand this whole, let me make you a moderator today and take it away tomorrow. I never got that. And if anybody can, he's tried to explain it to me, and it makes no sense.
What do you mean? What does he change it up? Or some people have it sometimes and some people don't?
So you can go in there today and not be a moderator, and before the show's over, you're a moderator.
Right.
You know, you say something nice or something. He's, oh, you need to be a moderator. And then you go back to the show the next time and you're not a moderator. He takes it away.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that profess limit the moderators. And I don't get that because, you know, I want more people that I trust watching over the channel.
Well, it depends, Paul. If you're a channel that has 2,000-3,000 people in the chat, you don't want to give everybody a wrench. You have your trusted people. So like say if my live stream ever blew the hell up and I had 2,000-3,000 people in my chat, you guys would be the only ones with wrenches at that point because I've known a lot of you guys for years.
Right. And that makes sense. Let me make this clear. I'm not upset that Philly doesn't make me a moderator. It was a joke.
Right.
I don't have to be a moderator. I think it's hilarious when people go on his show and they're like, hey, why don't I have a wrench? And I'm like, dude, I'm great. I can care less. And I got his phone number. I'll call him if I want to. You know,
Right.
I have a direct line to Philly. So it's not that I think it's funny. It's an interesting take. I mean, I kind of know what
I agree with you, Curtis. I've seen it too a lot of times. You know, I've been to the man's house. You know,
Yeah.
and next week he'll rip you back off again. Take you back off the thing. Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, I think when your channel does start getting to a certain size, you don't need to make every single person a wrench.
Yeah, you don't.
But like I said, I wouldn't do like Philly and be taking people I've known for a long times away, but I definitely wouldn't be giving every new person that comes in a wrench. But
He,
that's just my thing.
I understand. I didn't mean to I shouldn't have brought Philly up because he's not here to talk about it or anything, but I'm
No,
I'm
we're
not
not
meaning to throw
saying
him under the
anything
bus.
negative.
Yeah, I'm not
Everybody-
meaning to throw him under the bus. I love the guy to death. He and I are longtime friends, and I really don't care what he does. We're still going to be friends. It's not an issue about him giving or taking away or anything. I just think it's funny.
No,
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't say anything negative, but
Well,
everybody
I don't want
has
anybody
their
to
own.
think that's listening.
No,
to this,
no.
you know.
I didn't take that from that.
Okay.
I took it as you guys, he was messing around with you.
Well, David was talking about how much do I charge? I mean, so for the high end, that's what I charge, but for my friends and, I whatever, give me a wrench. That's kind of what I was kind of saying. If you're making money off the thing, it would be one thing, and I don't mean making $1 off of YouTube, with their little,
Yeah, if you're making a couple of grand off it, yeah, you're gonna.
if you're doing a construction project where you're making $20 million, yeah, throw me some bucks, buddy.
All right.
But at the same time, it's like I make this stuff just so I can keep my name out there and people know what I can do. And that's how I got that gig. That thing I did for Philly, they actually saw that, and that's how they initially contacted me. They were like, how does this work? How do you do this? Because we need to track they knew what camera tracking is, and they needed to camera track some stuff and to figure something out. So
Well, it's like Dustin said, he said, yeah, see, that's a way above what I can do. Imagine how I feel, Dustin. 'Cause I'm even below you. I can't even figure out half the shit you do. See, because doing my editing for my gaming videos is easy. Alls I have to do is just cut scenes out. That's it. And that's super easy. Anybody can do that. And I throw my intro and outro at the beginning of my video. It doesn't take me but 20 minutes to edit a gaming video. Take an hour-long video and shrink it down to 15 minutes. It doesn't take me that long. But because I'm not doing the drone stuff no more, so I'm not having to go into Vinci and do color grading and all this crap that like Matt and everybody else does. You don't have to do that with video game footage. Like it is what it is, and then you just put it in whatever resolution you want and you're good to go. And it looks
Right.
really good.
speaking of which, I just posted my new video
What'd you get on it?
this morning, and as of right now, I've already got 5 hours watch time. It's been up for 20 minutes.
Nice.
It's like blows me away.
So you're not getting, so nobody's obviously watched. How long is the video?
It's 2 hours.
So then it's only been up for 20 minutes. That means you've had a lot of eyeballs on it for a short time so far.
Yeah.
So there's probably been a few hundred people that have watched about 20, 30 minutes of it.
And YouTube, the other thing about YouTube is you can go through your analytics, and if you really, I don't think people write down everything that they see, because they'll look at one screen and it says one thing. It says you have X amount of subscribers in the last 90 days. And then you go to another screen and the number doesn't match. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. So I think right now what's happening to me is because the channel, because of the massive amount of hours that I got in viewing, I think what's happening right now with me is they're kind of going, oh, let's put the brakes on, because if you watch one of my videos right now, there's 2 commercials on it. And I'm not monetized. So YouTube is like milking it.
How many subs are you up to so far? I haven't checked.
It's like 610.
Oh, so you'll be at 1,000 in no time for sure if you want to monetize.
Yeah. I didn't want to monetize my personal channel, but I think I am going to monetize this one, even if it's $10 a month. It's $10 I didn't have,
Well, the views you're getting is good, because if you monetize, dude, you might get some sponsors out of it. You might get some more work, like you said, you would, what you did with Philly's channel. You know, you're getting a lot more eyeballs on that than you ever would off of, you're getting way more eyeballs on your shit right now than you
Yeah.
did with any other project so far.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm gonna catch you later. I'm gonna go get some sleep before I fall asleep in the car.
Okay,
Later,
Ron, Ron,
Later,
are
Ron.
you at home now?
No, back at the apartment.
No,
Okay.
he's in the parking garage, I can tell.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Ron, just want to say it's been nice chatting to you. Thanks for letting us get in the wedding.
Yeah.
Dustin, I think that's the stupidest thing that YouTube
See
does.
y'all.
Later, Ron.
Bye, Ron.
Ron.
Is you should not have to be a mod in order to click on somebody's name and go to their channel. I think that should be open for anybody. Like if
Yeah,
I go to,
There are some things in YouTube that are really, really stupid.
like I think if you go into somebody's channel and you're in their live stream and you just happen to meet a random person, you guys kind of hit it off in the chat and you want to check each
Right.
other's channels out, you should just be able to click on them without having to have a stupid wrench. I understand the links thing, right? Because you don't want just anybody dropping links in your
Yeah. But the
channel
wrench,
that you don't
but
know.
the
but-
wrench thing is a bit stupid as well.
Yeah,
You should have your super mods,
Oh, Mikey
Yeah.
just went live.
a couple of mods,
I
but
heard
you
what we're
should
saying,
also
so
be able
go
to give
trash
people
talking.
the power to post links.
uh,
I don't see why you need to give everybody a wrench to give them the option to post a link.
well, the reason why I say I kind of understand why they do that is because you will get random people that you don't know coming into your channel dropping
Yeah, but if you give them you have
porn
to,
links and everything else. Because this is the thing is like some people will take porn links, they'll go to programs and they'll redo the links so YouTube doesn't recognize it as a bad link, and then they'll come into your channel and start posting links like that. Because you can actually go and change links. Is he live?
No, he's not.
Oh. He was
I'll go-
on late last night, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, cause this shows it wasn't live 10 hours ago.
Yeah. He did a late show last night.
Somebody in the chat said he was live. That's why I was saying that.
That was Mark, he was probably messing with you.
Oh.
See Curtis, oh man, I gotta get off here. I got stuff to do.
Okay. No, I
Now, if he, trust me, if Mikey had an issue, he's actually really good friends with Paul. He'd come on here.
Yep.
But like I said, I don't think anything you said was negative. I didn't come off on any. Didn't come off.
well,
too
I didn't.
negative.
Sometimes I talk and I don't think. So Dustin, yeah, definitely we can get together and do some. I teach anybody anything they want. If I know how to do it, I'll show you how to do it.
Justin is always willing to learn as well, but he just doesn't feel that he's at the same level as Dustin or you're above Dustin, you know?
Well, and in all reality, I don't have time to learn something else right now. As much as I would, yeah, like if I'm sure if I sat with Curtis for like 2-3 weeks and learned hands-on how to do it, I definitely could pick it up. But, trying to do something like what Curtis does from scratch, unless it just, some things will just click with people, right? You might download a specific editing app and it clicks and you just learn it.
Well,
And then
what-
some people will download it and then they'll try to learn it and they'll get frustrated, so they'll watch videos. And that's kind of where I was at. Like it just wasn't
So
clicking.
you're
with
saying
me.
I should make a tutorial, huh?
Well, what I'm
Right?
thinking is.
Probably
Curtis,
wouldn't be a bad
if
idea.
You can you set up a channel where you have to subscribe and pay money to go to your channel and you would teach them what
Well,
you know?
Actually, you could actually set that up once you monetize the channel. You can do members only live streams and members only videos. But Curtis, Curtis even said people were asking him in your videos how you were doing that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
tutorial videos would actually go hand in hand with that channel if that's specifically what you're covering. At the same time, it's like, do you want to give too
And
many
what you
secrets
do,
out?
what you do, Curtis, what is it titled? What is that?
So
Oh,
that
Joe.
particular technique there's multiple things that are going on there. Hang on, I'm fixing to grab you a link because I've already done a tutorial on this. It's just kind of old.
What I'm thinking is in my mind is not having a clue what you guys do.
You're saying like a
I
John,
call it graphic engineering, you
you're
know?
talking about like what the genre title of that
Yeah,
particular thing would be.
So it's what it is. Let me put a link over here. This is my channel. It's in the chat.
Right, Dustin, it's like Patreon. You can actually set that up. Once you monetize your channel, it gives you the options to do that when you upload a
So
video.
it's called camera tracking. That's the actual terminology for it. And what it does is a person went out and filmed something with a camera. Well, the software goes in and tracks where that camera actually is and how it moves through the scene. Like if you're standing between two buildings and you're holding a camera and you walk forward, the software is able to track where that, based on where the pixels are, it's able to track where that camera is. And then it creates a 3D virtual space that you're able to put something into that space and add to that scene.
wow.
It's a complex algorithm. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but
So
there's
here's what I'm wondering. The question I have is, remember, everybody's coming out with 3D cameras now, you know, it's like, they're just about everywhere. Is that kind of going to take it to another level where you record something in 3D and then the computer fixes it up and
part of AI that's part of the risk of AI, this new AI that's coming out. It can fix things like you're already able to do automatic color correction with AI and stuff like that, where, I mean, it's not in Movie Maker, not yet. It's going to be there. Update is coming. But
Fucking Microsoft AI.
it's like there's a thing called auto ducking, and it's when you have a music track and a person talking. So what we used to have to do is go in and start the music track and then say, okay, lower the volume here because I'm talking, raise the volume here. Now you can have it reference the talking part, that it will automatically duck the music down for you. And I thought that was pretty cool, except now they have a new one called, and I forget what the name of it is. I have to go look it up. But now you can have a 3-minute music clip, and you can have a 1-minute video and tell the music clip, make it 1 minute, and it will go through and edit the music clip to fit your video within a few seconds. And it's a clean edit. It blows me away every time it does it.
well, the reason I'm asking is, because I thought it was cool at the time, and I was just kind of, I went out and bought the Penguin 3D.
Yeah, I remember you doing that. Paul,
Never used it because I can't figure it out. And some of the guys that have them, let me grab it real fast. Some of the guys,
I remember when you were buying that, Paul. I
What's up,
remember.
Russell?
some of the guys that have it, Curtis, they actually have it so that if you're watching it, you can control what the camera's showing you
Yeah.
after
There's
it's
YouTube channels where
been
you can grab it.
recorded. Yeah.
Yeah, it records all 360 degrees around you, and you can put it on YouTube that way so that you can actually grab the screen and rotate it and go look at something else.
Yeah.
Because see here I've got the little penguin right here in its own little hard case with a stick,
Oh, it's so cute.
and I've never used the damn thing. But
I think I told you at the time, Movie Maker doesn't support 3D
no,
or 360 cameras.
yeah, so I'm out of my element, definitely.
Yeah, if you upload it as raw footage, Facebook and YouTube will automatically stitch it.
Here's the little guy. It's got cameras on both sides. 360 chilling is the how you get this thing to work. And it does sound and everything. And I don't even understand the damn thing, so let alone use it, you know?
Oh, why is my phone getting such delays on the notifications? What the fuck?
Paul, I think at the time we told you not to buy it.
Yeah, I think somebody did.
I was there. I remember.
And so I bought a hard case for it and I bought the stick for it, the 360 stick and
So, Paul, if you click that link I've just posted in the chat,
yeah.
and as soon as the video starts, pause it, and then just click on the screen, anywhere on the YouTube screen, and drag it. You'll see you can go up, down, left, right.
Yeah,
But
but see,
each way around, it'll just
my old man brain doesn't equate that, you know?
Paul, this is one of the reasons we love you, though.
And he equates his credit card number into
Many
many boxes.
buys
So.
it, yeah.
Yeah, you figured that much out.
Well, that's the other problem I have.
Hey.
I am so enthralled with modern day technology that I buy things I shouldn't be buying.
David, did you send this to Matt so he could learn how to do a interactive 3D video?
Yeah, but look, you see what I mean? Look, I got the lightning strike over there. You scroll around.
I remember when I very first saw one of those videos on Facebook years ago, and I had my phone and I clicked on the video and I started moving my phone and the video was moving. I was like, what the hell is this? It was like
Yeah,
the
but
first time I ever saw one.
Here's the question I have, David, is put it on play. Can
That's
you
enough.
then take and can you, while it's playing, can you move it around?
Let me turn autoplay off.
Yes, you can.
See, look.
Wow, unbelievable.
Dustin, that's an understatement, by the way.
Yeah, it's only 4 seconds long, so he's having a hard time grabbing it before it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing it, moving it around. It works.
Trying to grab a point where the lightning strike.
I can see where with this lightning strike, that's really helpful. But for most of the stuff that most people are doing, it's like,
What the
what's
hell were
behind you what's behind the video is not really that interesting.
As you can see, it actually hits the building over there.
what the hell were you in a car?
Me?
Yeah, he's got raindrops on it.
No, that was a 360 camera on a 30-foot metal pole sticking out the window.
Oh,
That's why it's got raindrops on the lens.
on a 30-foot pole sticking out the window during a lightning
Yeah, see,
storm.
that's actually
look.
pretty cool.
Yeah, you actually did catch it pretty good there.
Yeah, that's where the 360 is really, really awesome when you're doing something like that.
Yeah, but you were in a vehicle, right?
No.
You know, he said he was sticking it out the window. I was.
Oh, you were. Oh, yeah, at your house. Okay.
Yeah. I was at home here with Laura going, "You're gonna get struck, you're gonna get struck." Shut up, woman. I've got a YouTube video to catch.
Hold on, where's Laura? She must not be there.
Yeah, because nobody does death-defying stuff for clicks these days, right?
Dustin says that wasn't too smart putting a metal pole out the window during a lightning storm. I could see if you had a fiberglass pole out there, but
Well, I see it this way. Either I was going to get the viral video, and I did. It's got 81,500 views.
oh, really?
Or Laura's going to get a viral video the day my boyfriend blew himself up. And that would have been spectacular.
Well, Laura steals your videos anyway, so.
Laura says she's here, and David, you're dumb. Sorry, Laura. Other than the metal pole, it's great that he caught the video.
I got the footage I needed.
It was one of those.
Paul, I didn't mean to
selfie sticks.
derail your. I thought you were taking off and leaving, so sorry.
No, we're doing fine. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we were only gonna leave because it was getting kind of dead.
because
Nobody
it
was
was
coming
dead.
in.
Yeah.
But
And,
you got-
and David disappeared because he lost his internet.
But he got his pooter back on.
Yeah. Well, what I
Footprint.
think is that he's now got a metal pole out the window and he's sucking in the air.
I bet that was a powered selfie stick too. He had to plug in the wall too. Like, go ahead and plug it into that 220 outlet over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
The problem is, if no one does things that are stupid, no one gets the entertainment that you don't expect. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
There's not many people that are going to have a 360 lightning strike, but you can catch the full
Oh, no,
lightning strike.
exactly.
You can pose at
Well,
any point and just see.
They call it no risk, no reward.
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, you get to a point in your life where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to risk it.
You see, also,
But the
with
other-
a 30-foot pole, I actually sometimes I put the 360 camera on and I put the poles out into the lake as far out as possible on the bottom and throw bread at the top, and all the fish come up and you get all the fish swimming round.
Okay, well, how do you get it out in the lake?
You keep hold of the pole. You don't let go of the pole.
Oh, you got it on the pole.
Yeah.
Dustin said the content is engaging. Let's keep rolling. I think he's just trying to get enough info out of Curtis so he can build his own tutorial video. He's like, and how,
I just put a link in there on how to do it.
he's like, and how do you do that again?
I made
Go
I
ahead.
made a video in I took some drone footage in a parking lot, and I painted a sign on the ground that said drone parking in one of the spaces.
Yeah, see, I just don't. Technology in my lifetime has changed to the point where I used to think when I was younger that I was with it, and every year that goes by, Curtis, I learn more and more. I am not with it anymore.
What you mean to say is technology has zoomed past you and left you
Oh, yeah.
behind.
Yep, left me behind. You know,
Dustin, you can always contact me. Always.
I'm like a Model T on the highway to the future. You know.
Well, I mean, no, there's never been any group of generations in history that have ever experienced this level of technology jump in a short period. This is new to everybody.
So slight change in subject. I'm thinking about buying the 5-fish Evo.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
the
wait.
The other interesting thing is when you said that you had to own all of those ROVs because they've got internal batteries. So if you're out doing a project or whatever, you have to be able to just switch out RV.
Well,
So
see, I didn't
generally
think about that.
Generally speaking, if you don't use the lights, you get about 4 hours worth of dive time on your battery. But if you use the lights and you're down at 40, 50, 60 feet like I normally am, then you get about an hour's worth of dive time.
So there isn't any cable charging that you can hook.
There isn't. You can do a shore power. I don't have that unit because it's something you have to mount on there. It's another thing that you have to mount on it.
On the ROV?
On the ROV itself, and then that automatically connects to the ROV, and then it runs up the existing tether cable. So, and then you have to have a place to either a generator or a plug-in on the shore to be able to run that, and then you can just run all day. The guys that have used it are kind of you lose some of the mobility in the water. It's not so. I don't want to use the word aerodynamic because that's an aerial term, but there's a lot more resistance moving around in the water, and there's more of an opportunity to capture something.
So the solution is when somebody figures out how to put that package inside the ROV.
Yeah, but right now they see it as and it costs as much as the ROV does.
Yeah, but I would imagine in commercial use it would be nice to have.
And the commercial guys are using it. Like the oil rig guys who work on the offshore oil rigs and they go down and look at the the supports and everything else and stuff like that to make sure everything's working instead of putting a diver in the water to observe things. It's not going to fix anything, but it certainly lets the diver know what he's going down there to do instead of spending time just looking at everything. Yeah, those guys have shore power, and they don't care about, you know, how the yaw is or how it turns or whether you're trying to get smooth motion. They're trying to get information. So it's a different use than what I'm doing.
Do you foresee, you know, with this blast through of AI technology as far as robots and stuff, that you're going to get to a point where you're going to just pull up and just tell the robot, get in the water and go check this out?
So they do have a waypoint system for ROVs, not for the ones that I have, and they are working on that. And the military has it. Let me also answer Mark here. So yes, they're all tethered because the radio waves don't travel underwater.
Hey, that's so funny because it's like because I've all asked you that question. Every drone guy seems to ask that question that hasn't run across your conversations about these yet. Because we all assumed before we knew about it, it's like,
Right.
why isn't it wireless? Fuck the tether.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, Curtis, is it a technology thing? Because, you know, they do have like submarines. Remember, they came up with a system. The submarines can talk to one another and everything underwater.
It's not a real-time system though.
Oh, okay.
There's latency involved in that system. So,
Well-
and I get it. So the drones guys have a certain amount of freedom. It gives you freedom. I can go anywhere. I can do anything until the government says I can't go there or I can't take off here. And that's the thing that we all bitch and moan about. Because the drone is so free, you're able to just go. I mean, there's no reason why you can't just go. I want to go over here. I want to go over there. But the thing is, you can look up and you can see where the drone is. Even if it's, you know, a mile away, you can pull out binoculars and go, oh yeah, there's a tower over there. I need to watch out for that. You can see it. Underwater, you can't see. It's really tunnel vision. It's very, very much tunnel vision, which is why I like going out with two ROVs at the same time, because one's watching you while you're out doing something. And a lot of times Mark, the guy that's with me, he'll say, oh, you got something over here, or watch out over there, you know, or I'll be following him and I'll tell him the same thing. You got a branch right behind you. Don't back up.
So there's no such thing as a 360 camera on an ROV?
There is now. There wasn't when I got these. This is technology that's it's a very, so first of all, it's limited technology in the fact that unlike aerial drones, not everybody's near a good body of water that's interesting to dive into. You know, people that are on the coast have got it made. Yeah, you want to sell to them. Anybody with a nice body of water around them, there's something interesting to go see. If you're out in a park where it's a pristine lake and not a lot of people are there, you're not going to find garbage in there. You're going to find fish or something like that. It's a hard market to get into, and the cleanup after you go dive, a lot of drone guys will just put their drone away. They're like, oh yeah, I flew today, I'm putting it away. I come back and spend as much time downloading the footage off the ROV and cleaning the ROV as I did pretty much out while I was diving. So there's a lot more involved with an ROV than there is with just an aerial drone.
Well, a lot of that has to do with you're using salt water, but if you're in fresh water,
it's not as bad as in freshwater, but you still want to clean it out.
You want to flush it, yeah.
Yeah, you still want to flush it out. I mean, salt water is worse for it than the fresh water is, but you still want to flush it out because you still don't know what's down there. I mean, you're getting stuff inside the props. I mean, they're vectored props, so they're ducted props. So you suck stuff up in there all the time. I mean, I caught a fish hook one time. Somebody had lost a fishing hook down there, and it was a pretty good size one, probably about yay big, and it got up in the ducts. And if you're not paying attention, you got to clean that stuff out. You can't just leave it in there. It'll rust up as well.
I didn't realize that when I first asked him. Mark said, I've been a ham radio operator for 40 years. I should have figured that one out. But you know what, to go back on your point of the people on the coast would be a big seller. The real good thing for them though is what, like, what is it? 70% of the world's population lives within 100 miles of the
Yeah,
coast.
yeah.
So that's actually a good thing for their market then.
I've got some friends of mine in Kentucky and inland states in Ohio and stuff, and they've got some nice lakes, but once they go out once or twice, they're like, well, I've pretty much seen everything there is, and I just kind of blew that money.
Yeah, it's like buying one and living in the flat plains of Kansas, right?
Right. There's a couple lakes you can go to and you'll find a few things, but it's not like the ocean where everything's changing all the time. The tides bring stuff in.
Or yeah, or like down here in Florida, you'll have these massive lakes all over.
Yeah.
Like
Like when
I
the,
live
when the
in
earthquake when the earthquake happened over in Japan and all the stuff that came over to the United States, we were getting a lot of stuff on the beaches and here in the Puget Sound, and there's a lot more stuff down there. So it's a constantly changing environment in saltwater versus a lake.
that's like here I live in the chain of lakes here in Florida, and there's so many lakes around me, I don't even know the names of half of them without having to go on Google Maps and look because there's so many of them.
So Mark, to answer your question, I've thought about that. Bluetooth, I'm not sure. Isn't Bluetooth a radio frequency? Because
Yeah.
even a modern day submarine that the Navy has, they have to surface, and they don't really surface. They trail a wire that goes to the surface, and that's how they communicate in real time.
Well, that's what I was wondering too. Do they have an attachment where, it's maybe a self-retracting buoy that can follow your ROV around and stay on the surface, or?
So there's a toy. You guys remember 2001 Leagues Under Sea? There's a toy Nautilus submarine that has that, and it has it's like $3,000 to buy it, and it has a tether that goes to the surface, but it's just a buoy that floats up there so that you can dive. And there's a camera inside the two eyeball things, and you can actually. It's meant for a swimming pool or whatever. It's not meant to go out really in the ocean kind of thing. But a lot of these hobby boating guys, the guys who do the RC boats in the ponds and stuff, that's who it was meant for. And also the dory. The dory is another one that has a floating tether. So the connection between you and the dory is actually a radio, but the tether floats on the water and follows the dory wherever it goes.
Yeah. See, I was just thinking, you've seen those little pods that
Yeah.
float, they have a strobe on top, and
Yeah.
and if that was on a tether down to the drone, then you would pretty much be able to look out there and see where the hell it is.
So the dory is that way. They have Chasing makes one called the dory, and it does that. That's exactly the setup. So it's a
Pricey.
radio. It's a radio signal between you and the
buoy.
The buoy, and then the buoy has a tether that goes down to the ROV.
Pricey drone?
No, it's very entry level. It's like $900, $800,
wow.
probably even less than that right now, because it's about 3-4 years old. The problem was that it doesn't have much power, and you take it out in the ocean and the current will take it away.
Okay.
And guys are like, come back, come. And then that tether, and I've talked to you guys about this before, that with an ROV, and if I'm boring you guys, tell me now and I'll stop. But with the tether, it acts like a sail in the water. It used to be back in the day of the big ships. If you wanted to slow your ship down, you could actually drop some sail into the water and it would act like a water anchor. Well, this is very similar. I mean, if I go 300 feet out and I've got all that tether out and there's a cross current, it's going to be pulling your ROV the direction of the current because that tether. So
By the way,
tether management is really, really important with an ROV. You want to keep as much
Well,
tether.
and plus when you're tethered, you got something more it can get snagged down, right?
Well, it's a floating tether, so it's 100% buoyant. So, and that a lot of guys don't understand that too. If it wasn't buoyant and there was some branches down there and you had 300 feet of tether out laying on the ground and it wraps around something, you're stuck. Whereas the tether that you're not using, the excess tether, is on the surface.
Oh.
and by the way, if I wanted to be bored, I'd just go watch Matt's channel. Oh god, I've been poking that bear for 2 years and he still ain't done a video.
Oh, well. But no, I'm actually, and the thing about this new one is it's got a wider field of view. So that's pretty cool. You'll capture more of what's on the sides and the top and the bottom of the frame. So you'll get a nice, whereas now you're like this, it'll be like this. So you'll get a lot wider view. So, and I'm going to be putting all this stuff on my new channel. And I don't think I'm going to do lives anymore because that really didn't do anything.
So ultimately, Curtis, do you envision, because you're much younger, that someday you'll end up having to get a 360 ROV?
What do you mean I'm younger? I'm younger than you, but that's about it.
Well, the world is younger than I am, but you know,
I remember when the meteor hit the earth and the dinosaurs went away.
There you go. Yeah.
Curtis,
Thank
said
God,
you,
thank God for the family cave, right?
Right.
Curtis said you flatter me, sir.
I don't see it. So I don't personally see an advantage to a 360 camera, knowing the mounting points. The only mounting point is the little wing on the back, and that would capture more of the ROV. The guys that I go out with, they're like, "Can we not use the claws today so we can just get video?" And I'm like, "Yeah, until you get down there and you want to pick something up." You know,
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it'd be nice to have a retractable claw underneath it. And then if you see something, you could swing it out and swing it around and grab something, you know?
But you know, I don't see stuff like that happening until the industry gets bigger.
That's the issue. Yeah, the industry has to get bigger. More people have to buy into this, the idea of going down there and doing some stuff. But I can tell everybody in your audience, I found everything from guns to purses to phones. I've been paid rewards for stuff. We found a dead body. And we were asked to go find the dead body. I didn't just randomly go find one. So
Like, how'd you know that was there, sir? I swear it was the ROV that found it.
yeah, I swear. Yeah, you went to this particular lake. No, it was a teen suicide, and we were asked to assist divers. The water was
That's the one
huge.
where he had a backpack on?
Yeah, I
Yeah, he
remember.
had a backpack with the decorative bricks that you get for your yard. He loaded it up with those.
Weight him down.
That is a rough way to go, I'll tell you what.
Well, he was on fentanyl too. He didn't feel a thing.
Man,
What was it, the mortician? Whoever does the autopsy said that he was so high he had no
medical
idea.
examiner.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan,
Hey, Curtis, thank you.
Hi.
I have not laughed that hard since I fell off my dinosaur, bro. That is truly good, sir. Thank you for that.
Which
It was
one?
just the whole dino. You're like, I've been here since dinosaurs and meteors
Oh,
hit the earth. Bro, I was dying.
Well, the
I was-
way that Paul
Oh,
said
man.
it was like he was like 16 or something. It's
Yeah.
like when you get older.
you know, the sad part of it is I can remember as a kid going out and watching them build the pyramids. You know, so it's like,
Shit.
Dan, you're the young guy here, man.
Hey, wait a minute. Justin, how old are you?
37.
God damn it, I am the youngest here.
You're the kid in the room, man.
Eh.
I thought you were
yeah,
older than me.
I envision probably when I'm long gone, Curtis is going to be still playing with ROVs, and they're going to have all kinds of attachments so the claw will move around and grab things. And
Paul,
I don't know if we've been playing with them that long. I mean, as far as an interest thing, I can see at a certain point because it takes so much stuff to go out there and go to it. Unlike a drone, you stick it in your backpack and go fly. There's so much stuff to carry around to go out there. It's like I can kind of see at some point maybe it becomes no fun.
I seen the amount of shit you took out on that one time. Jesus, it was like
Yeah.
2
Well, that's
wagon
to do the live underwater thing. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, that's a whole other bag right there of stuff just to go live.
I don't know, man. I still don't think the tech is there, bro. I want sonar. There's so many things that I want that they don't have. I feel like they could add. It wouldn't be that difficult. They just don't do it.
Well, they have sonar for the 5-fish, but man, it's like 20 grand.
See, I don't understand. The tech's been around since forever, bro. Pretty sure there's a way to make it cheap. Come on,
Well,
try
and
and-
the
Anybody could do it,
the
Dan.
the
You're the
other
guy
thing
that could
too
do it.
is-
I mean, I have no doubt about it.
The other question I have is like you were talking, Curtis, in heavier currents,
Mhm.
that it's a problem stabilizing it because the motors only have so much strength to them. Why the hell don't they, it's like drones. They put bigger motors and bigger motors and
Well, they
bigger
do on
motors.
the, like, for instance, the W2, I can speak to this because I've tried it. The W2 is meant to be out in the ocean. And it has nice, big, strong motors in it that can handle the current, and it can go down to 500 feet, no problems. The one I have is not really meant for that. It has its limitations.
There's a lot to be said about buoyancy effect though, man. It comes down to very, very specifics when it comes to submersibles. And, at some point you can almost, like, for instance, Paul, you're saying that why not add bigger motors? And in my head, that's a great idea, but in some essence, it's like a drone. You add a bigger battery, you're compensating for something else somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? To get something that could function underwater like that, and Curtis knows they make stuff like that. Some of them do not really rely on the buoyancy effect though, whereas they can just maintain a position through lots of power output. But I've noticed most of those are connected to a huge power source, like a boat that has a power drive system designed for those. Outside of that, I'm not sure that the type of power necessary for the duration of time that you're hoping to use it for would come from battery power. I feel like that's pretty strenuous on the machine, and finding the buoyancy balance point of too much weight, not enough weight, nose heavy, not, is very difficult. It's Curtis knows what I'm talking about. You're an ROV guy, man. At one point I was trying to design one until I realized the specifics that really go into it, bro. And I was like,
well, for instance, the five fish itself is 100% neutrally buoyant. It will float. Nothing, everything off, it floats. But the five fish expert, which is the same body, the same mechanisms, all the same stuff, except for the connection system that's in there so that it can use different attachments, makes it heavier. So you put it in the water, it'll sink to the bottom. Slow, but it will sink to the bottom. You start adding the different attachments, they each have a different buoyancy thing that's on there. But if you just put it in the water, it sinks.
So, and that's where I think we draw that fine line, is like a real submersible has the ability to submerge on outside of power usage, right? By relieving pressures. And you're not doing that with ROVs. It's reliant on constant power inputs to do that. So if it's too heavy, then it sinks. It has to maintain constant power to stay above the water. If it's not heavy enough, then it's having to use its power to force itself under to stay down. So I do find this very fine line with ROVs. I feel like they're not quite there. How cool would it be to introduce an actual system where you could release pressures? I think that would be a lot more power efficient. You could probably go to deeper depths without issue.
Are you talking about using water as buoyancy?
Yes.
So you're talking about an additional tube in there plus some sort of hydraulic system to
push
actuate the water in and out.
Yep.
It's like a flood tank, like
Yeah, is that similar, very similar to what a submarine does,
Yes.
Right.
And then when you use water as an internal source, you also get rid of the implosion factor, and you could go to different atmospheric depths, yes. But you're also adding weight.
No, and I 100% agree with that. And that's
the hydraulics alone is going to make your ROV larger.
Sure.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't hydraulic? What if it was pump driven though? Just a standard pump, pulling water in, pushing water out, a very small pump system.
What you're using power then?
Yes. Yes, but only until.
But then you would also not. So if you're using water's buoyancy, so if you need so many cubic feet of, or not cubic feet, but cubic inches of water to go to 100 feet, you also wouldn't be using as much electricity with the motors. So that would actually kind of compensate for it.
Right. I was also thinking that if you added the extra weight, it might actually help you compensate for the currents too.
Yes, that is true. So the expert, which weighs more than the five fish, is more steady in the water because of the weight. That's correct. That's my observation.
Yeah, man. Just tech isn't there for Dan. I know you want me to be involved, bro, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting on specifics. And you're like, design them. I'm like, fuck that. I got too much shit going on, bro. I know what I
understand.
want. Give me-
I've always thought, you guys have seen my videos underneath the Blue Water bridges. There's a 6 to 8 knot current continually going downriver. And so there's just no way that I could put anything in there and compensate. I'd be running down the boardwalk.
I think the expert could handle it.
I was
It-
gonna
it
say,
would-
man.
I'll just put a dory in there and fucking send it, bud.
God, dude.
The dory would be lost and as soon as you put it in the water, man.
Seconds, bro. Seconds. Dude, a 3 mile an hour current would just swipe the dory away.
A tide would take it out. I've heard guys have lost their dories because of the tide. They're sitting there going, come home, I got it full reverse. Come on, come back.
Yeah. Your
No,
dory's
it's-
great.
and instead, what do they call that? Instead of a flyaway, it's a swim away.
Yeah, swim
Dive
away.
away.
Where's it
So-
going? Back to China.
So the dory would be good for like small lakes, little ponds.
I
shit
don't
like
even
that.
think that, bro. I think it's more, well, yeah, ponds, anything that doesn't have moving water.
Okay, so hot tubs then.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, because hot
Pools.
tubs have moving water.
Pools.
Yeah, the jets would
Um,
completely shoot it out of the hot tub.
But no, look, when I had my dory, I did put it in some great locations, but anytime I try to take it anywhere bay or ocean related, it was useless. Absolutely useless. It just couldn't handle it. Now, I will say when you get out into deeper waters, it actually does better. And I don't understand why that is, but you can still only go down 30 feet, so you can't really see much. There you go.
I was just looking at these.
So yeah, this is the one Ken wants to give me. I'm just being lazy and don't want to go pick it up. You won't grab it. You won't grab that titty.
No, I literally went diving with this and I'm cleaning it out. My wife's like, really? You're gonna put this in the tub there? And,
The hot tub.
Actually, the bubbles probably help get the salt out of different places.
Yeah.
Bubble and sand, or yeah, the sand and stuff. God, let me ask you a question. How often do you use yours in salt water?
every day. Every day
So,
that I go out there.
so what do you find is happening to the bearings? Because it seems like every one that I had, no matter how you cared for them, the bearings just rusted regardless.
So, in the Facebook groups that I'm in, I hear constant problems about chasing, and I have 2 chasing products. I have 2 Gladius minis. I don't like the camera, so I don't use them as much. What I do is I go out and use the 5-fish, and then if I still want to dive some more, I'll throw the 2 chasings in there.
Right.
The 5-fish guys, most of the forums the guys are putting some kind of gel in their motors. I have not done that yet, and I have not had a motor freeze up.
Like
Yeah.
dielectric grease, something like that.
Yeah.
Really?
I have not put anything in there. I'm religious about coming back, and there's a maintenance, they call it maintenance program, and where you put it in a tub like I just did, and you run the maintenance program. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and it runs each motor forward and backwards and cleans everything out.
Makes sense. Okay.
You could do it manually. You could sit there and throttle forward and backwards and all that stuff. It just does it for you. It's just set up so that it maintains its position in the water, and this motor will spin up and then it will reverse, and this motor spins up and reverses, and it compensates for each other, so it holds its position. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of like a set it in the water and forget it, set it in the tub and forget it. But I'm religious about, I was just telling Paul about that. Most people that buy these things are used to using their aerial drones where when they're done flying, they stick it in the backpack and they don't look at it until tomorrow or until they, download the
Pull it
footage
out again. Yeah.
and pull it out again. Whereas I come back and I spend as much time as I dive cleaning it and getting the footage out of the thing as I do when I'm out playing with it.
Well, I just remember every time I would go take it to saltwater, right? Like when I had the advance door or the chasing advance, right? When they first released it, I remember taking that thing out, and every time I would stop and get a gallon of fresh water. So as soon as I took it out of the water, I would run it over the motors and you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Just to help, bro. Cause I got a because I'm going to spend the rest of the day here now. It's just going to sit in the bag. Right. I'm going to still be at the beach with the girlfriend doing whatever. And then I'll finally get home 12 hours later, you know, and finally gets its first rinse. So I used to just bring a gallon of water, but I don't know if that helped or didn't. It didn't seem
It
to
does.
do
Yeah,
too much,
as
does it?
long as you're running the motor when you're doing it. I do the same thing. So I'm lucky enough in Tacoma where I go diving. There are fishing spots and they have running water out there to clean your fish.
Mhm.
So right out on the pier, I can just run them under that water and that's fresh water coming out there and it's not a big deal. But as long as you're running the motor when you're doing it forward and reverse, you should be okay.
Okay.
I've done that a lot too, where I knew I was not going back to the house and I was going to be in Tacoma for a while. So like I said, I've never had a motor freeze up. I hear people talking about it all the time. I think it's just because they just don't do the maintenance.
Well, look, man, I'm gonna get with you about the five fish because Dobo said he was gonna give me his other one. He hasn't used it since the trip we took 2 years ago, bro, on that one boat with that dude. So it's just been sitting in a bag since then. So he's like, "You want this?" I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll take it. I'll find some adventure to take with it." So, like, I'm gonna get with you about that because I'm
Yeah,
sure
anytime,
the
man.
thing is gonna suck and it's gonna need a lot of updates and it's probably gonna be absolutely horrible because I don't even think we got it functioning that day. I think we threw it in the water. It did absolutely nothing. So that was a send model. They just sent him one like, here, review this. And yeah, his first
God, there's
review.
been so many updates since then, and they don't even
That's-
make that one anymore. Now that one's obsolete, the one that Dobo has.
Mhm.
The
I
new one,
figured.
the new one they just came out with does 4K at 60 frames per second, so you can get that nice slow motion effect that you want. It has a
Right.
wider field of view. That's really that wider field of view is something. The price has come down too, which is amazing. It's $1,500 with a claw.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good.
Claw tether, the whole 10 yards, $1,500. It's like, wow. I was amazed when they came out with that price. They've been doing pretty good as far as I can tell, as far as sales goes. I mean,
Yeah.
the people that are joining the ROV groups on Facebook have just exploded. So
Well, if I ever stop being lazy and go pick it up, man, I'll still get with you and see what we can do with it. Might be fun to modify it now because nobody cares about it. Maybe I will do a ballast system and see what happens in there, man.
well, there's mounting points underneath it. It's 5, in case you need to know, it's 4 5mm screws.
Okay.
Not the easiest thing to find in the world, strangely enough.
We're FPV drone guys, man. We can find anything. If we can't, we customize it, right?
Right.
Exactly. I don't know why I'm so tired, bro. I need coffee. I'll be right back. That's why. Coffee.
Well, you've been having a lot of fun with the ROVs.
How much is that new one gonna run you that you want to get?
$1,500
That's not bad.
versus the 6,000 for the other ones. It's like, holy crap. Trying to find this little piece of footage here so you guys can see the motors. They're not running 100% of the time on the one that's, well, hang on, I'll show you in just a second as soon as I get to that spot. Well, actually, you might like this too. Here, I'll just go ahead and share this for people that haven't seen it. We took the Mavic 2 Pro and the Five Fish out and decided to introduce them to each other. So that's the Five Fish looking at the Mavic. And there's the Mavic looking at the Five Fish. Come play with me, man.
Now, will those things overheat if they're running and not in the water?
With the light on, yes. If you have the lights on, it becomes an issue. So if you look close on here, let me see if I can make this full screen, see if that helps. Watch the motors. They're not running 100% of the time. They stop and adjust. Did you see that?
Yeah.
See, they'll stop to adjust for whatever it is you're wanting it to do.
Well, how much is a system like that cost in today's dollars?
Well, you can't, that one you can't buy anymore. And then there's my Mavic footage. This one you can buy. So this one's like $6,600 for the Expert. And then the other one, they don't make that anymore, but it was like $1,600.
Huh?
And you said earlier that one battery costs as much as the damn ROV
Yeah,
does?
the chasing M2, and I'm trying to find this piece of footage where I can show you guys the motors where I'm talking about. And this kind of goes to what Dan was talking about 100% natural buoyancy, where you don't need to use the motors as often. You use water as buoyancy. See, like they're not always running.
Right. Yes. Ideal. This would be ideal for all of them.
So this one is 100% buoyant, whereas the gray one is not. So the motors are always running on it to keep it
Right.
stationary.
So in my mind,
So
it's like
these two things right here, these could be part of your
Yeah.
ballast. So right now they're just basically foam ballast, but you could put a tube in here that you could use for ballast.
Pump water in and out.
Sure.
Right. The electronics in this thing are in the back end of the camera, and the lights are in the front. So this tends to be heavy by itself without the claw. It tends to be heavy in the back end where the connection is, which is why the ballast is towards the front up here so that it sits level.
I also feel like it would help counteract the cable. What's the tensile strength on that cable? Like 200 pounds?
I'd have to look it up, but you're supposed to be able to pick up, I think, 10 to 12 pounds. In other words, there's a lock on the clamp. If you can't lift it with the motors, see that motor's running all the time.
Right.
You can't lift it with the motors. You can lock the clamp and then pull it out by the tether. And I think it was somewhere between 10 to 12 pounds.
Really? I thought it'd be more than that.
No, it's not that much. Yeah, see, they're starting and stopping.
Well, then I feel like chasing really said a lot of baloney during there because they said, hold on, I'll look it up. Pretty sure they said he was.
Now, I don't know about
capable-
chasing. This is Quai C. This is a different company.
Right. I'm just, well, I would think that almost all the lines are probably the same. Like they almost look identical.
You're thinking maybe the same manufacturer?
I think so. I mean, it would seem weird that,
Well,
I
it's
feel like
how-
it's being third partied out. I mean, I'm assuming it's being third partied out.
well, it's like how many manufacturers are out there really making tethers for ROVs? There's
And that's my point is like, I
Yeah.
feel like some point here, they're reaching in and going, okay, this will work because we know it works for this one. So why don't we just use it? Cheap, efficient, somebody already makes it.
By the way, for all the guys that say don't get your Mavic near the water, because I call bullshit. It works. Flying like 2 feet off the water here.
Oh, that's interesting that the precision landing didn't interfere. I mean, not landing, but oh my God, bro, it's been that long since I talked GPS BS.
You just turn it off. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, the whatever that thing is. on the
Downward
optical
facing
flow,
sensors. Yeah, I
optical
turn
flow,
them
yeah.
off. I never use them.
Yeah, and that's why people get screwed up though, because it can't transition the waves. It looks like moving ground,
Right,
so it
exactly.
gets confused as shit. If you just let the GPS lock in, it'll just stay there.
Oh yeah, I've been above water before and it gave me a negative. Out like it would say negative 20 feet, and I'm like, how the fuck is it negative 20 feet? It's 15 feet over the water.
I don't know, dude. I knew how accurate the French were doing things when I took the Parrot Bebop 2 across the water at like 6 inches backwards at full tilt, bro, and it never adjusted altitude. It just perfectly across the water. It was mind blowing.
By the way, this is where we're diving at. I like to go here a lot. This is under the Aurora Bridge. You guys heard about all the houseboats in Seattle?
I see that now. Jeez, man, some of those are mansions.
Yeah, big house.
Dude.
$1 million jobs. There's some more, I got some more footage on here of them. That's right. I think it's right at the beginning of the video. So this is the 99 bridge. This is Lake Union. It's on the north side of Seattle. And here's all the houseboats going. So as you continue on around there, it goes on to see the Space Needle. Let me find the next piece of footage. Yeah, so you can see them all over here, and then Space Needle in Seattle's over here. So this is Lake Union.
Like a fucking cul-de-sac suburb in the middle of the water.
It's like in the water ghetto.
The water ghetto.
It's an interesting place to live. I'll say that for sure.
Well, because they
Careful.
don't, those literally look like regular houses just floating in the water.
I'm telling you, man. They got like weird street signs out, like be careful of like wake zones, man. You know, that's a rough neighborhood over there.
Yeah, rough neighborhood because of the waves.
They have signs out there, swim like your kids live here.
Like your kids live here.
Like you see the signs out in the
Dude.
neighborhoods, drive
we
like
should-
your kids live here.
Totally. We could have fun with that, man. We should make a bunch of signs and just go down there and put them up everywhere. Oh God.
So Mark says, can you clean them in a large ultrasonic tank? Dude, I cleaned it in a hot tub. Yeah, just running it through fresh water is really all you need to do. You just want to get any sediment, any dirt, and anything that, any metal thing, anything like I don't think Dan was here when I said this. I picked up a big fishing hook one time, and if I hadn't paid attention, it would have rusted, sitting in the bag for a while. So yeah, you got to go through and make sure that everything's clear out of there and all the salt water's out of there. But yeah, every place that I go, with the exception of when we went and looked for that kid who committed suicide, has been salt water, and he was in a lake.
I use an ultrasonic cleaner every week, and I gotta say, they suck. They do not do as good as everyone leads me to believe that they do. I don't care. I've tried all the chemical differences, and I clean carbs with them all day, right? I pull out motorcycle carbs, I throw them in there, and I don't see any real efficiency that happens. I don't get much change in anything. So I don't know, man. I just stopped using it. I finally unplugged it, just put it on the floor. I was pissed. I spent $400 on a nice ultrasonic cleaner that didn't do squat. I better luck just tearing it down and cleaning it myself and just rebuilding the carb for $10.
So why would you notice still a lot of shit inside of it?
Yeah, it like barely does anything. Even if you pull it all out, pull all the rubber, because you got to take all the rubbers out. If you're adding in all the chemical base, then you got to pull the rubbers and everything out. Otherwise, I'll just destroy them. But yeah, like corrosion and ethanol buildup and all, it doesn't do jack. I don't care what anybody says. Those things are silly. There might be some really good ones if you spend a load of money on one, but I think most of the ones in the $100 to $400 range suck. They suck.
I'm sure if you went out and spent like $2,000 on the laboratory type.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
version,
saying. Yeah, but the ones they sell you, those are just no chintzy, bro. They don't work. They're garbage.
So the one thing that you did that I thought was really, really cool, and hats off to you on that, was when you went to that cave and dove in that cave.
That took a lot of convincing.
It was really, really cool though.
Yeah, it was well, because their insurance policy wouldn't cover it. And so I finally I went to the head lady of the place and I was like, look, we came here specifically to do this. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but we drove a long ways to do this. And she was like, well, I can't do that. And I was like, okay. So what I did is I stayed 3 nights. The first night after she said no, I paid attention to who runs the place and opens it up in the morning. Right. And so when I saw the truck pull in, I said, okay, that's whoever owns that truck. That's who I need to talk to. So I went and found that guy later on in the day. And I was like, hey man, we have this idea. And he's like, yeah, I know. My wife told me. He goes, oh, your wife runs the front of the thing. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, he's like, we really can't do that. We don't have an insurance policy that would cover you. And we can't do it while we're open because people swim down there. And I was like, look, man, I really just need 15 minutes. We're not even going to be in the water. Like literally, I'm just throwing this in and that's it. Nothing else is going to happen. We're just going to get some footage. We'll be out of there before the place opens. He was like, if you can meet me there at 6:15 in the morning, I'll let you do it. And I was like, okay, you got a deal. So yeah, that was some buggery, bro.
No, what
But
exactly
yeah,
what are
it
you
was worth
talking
it, though.
about? I don't think I've ever seen this.
So when I did my review of the Dory, I decided that I wanted to go somewhere that was very unique that nobody had done before. And so I decided on Devil's Den. It's the only prehistoric underwater cavern in Florida that I'm aware of, cave system that is in Florida.
Right.
They call it Devil's Den because on like 50 and 60-degree mornings, the water is constantly 72 degrees, so steam comes out of the top of it and it looks like it's on fire. So it was given the name the Devil's Den. Very unique place. During the day, there's a lot more wildlife, like there's turtles and big fish and craziness. In the morning, there were bats and some fish, but there wasn't much activity. It actually looks better during the daytime than when it's still dark out before the light comes out. So I was kind of mad that we couldn't do it during the day because that's where the real visuals would have come in. It would have given
But it was a
you.
really cool thing to do, though.
Yeah, it was very unique. It was a unique opportunity to do that. I had
So
fun
you dove down into the,
into the cave with the
How-
dory.
would you just go as far as the tether allowed you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've actually the bottom of the cave system was basically where the tether stopped, so it worked out pretty good, I would
Oh,
say.
wow.
Yeah,
So
and there's warnings all throughout there. I think we rolled up on one of the signs, and it was like, "Warning: going beyond this point could, mean immediate death." Or, I was like, "Oh my god, people really go in these caves? What the hell?"
So do they allow divers to go down there?
Yeah, so you got to be scuba certified. So there's scuba caves, and yeah,
And these people actually own that property that the cave is
yes,
on?
yep, it's private property.
Oh, wow. I'm
Some
surprised the state didn't take that as like a, I don't know.
as
Surprised.
Historic
I don't
place or
know.
something
Yeah,
like that.
like a historical
well,
spot or something.
it's been marked, and apparently the state has tried to buy it from them numerous times, and they've turned it down. That place makes a lot of money, a lot of money.
It's kind of like what they did with Mount St. Helens up here. It's like the state took it over and now you have to pay to go see it. It's like, really? Really? That's about the dumbest thing I ever heard.
I mean, it's the same with Devil's Den, but because it's owned by private people, it's still pretty affordable. Like camping at night is like $21. Like that's cheap. RV hookup for the night is like $50. I mean, that's your campsite. That's cheap. It's like, scuba diving or just diving in the caves with, mass snorkeling. It's only like $13.
That's
Kids
not
are
bad.
like $7. So it's really cheap, man. It's cheap to go out there. If the state owned it, bro, it'd be like, oh, you want to come into Devil's Den? $55 to get in. And then you go there and it'll be like, $45 per adult to snorkel in the cave for 30 minutes. Like it just wouldn't be the same. Be $150 to $200 a night for RV parking there.
Is Mount St. Helens still active or is it?
Yes.
I think it's
So-
always
so
going to
it's-
be active.
Yeah, it's a volcano. It's always going to be active. but
Always active.
Its activity is very limited. I mean, we get some little rumbles in the ground every once in a while.
I mean, the only thing that really
Out
makes
near is more of a risk.
Yeah, the only thing that really makes a difference with it is if plates shift. If we get plate shift, then you start get pressure buildup. That's when they go, right? I mean, that's
Right.
the tectonic plates start shifting around. That's when we have, and that's not when just one goes off. That's when you have multiple all over the earth. They'll start like getting like, hey, maybe it's gonna pop.
Now, were you there during the original?
No, I was in Oklahoma at the time when it went off back in '81.
And now how close are you to it? Would you have been into the danger zone?
So where I live, no. I'm about an hour away from it, but where the pyroclastic flow goes through the Puyallup River would feed out through Tacoma. So if I was at work, it would have been an issue. As far as the aftermath, the ash and everything, the whole state had issues. People were putting pantyhose over their carburetors so it wouldn't be clogged up.
That's really smart. That is smart.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was a kid at the time. I was still in high school at the time when it happened.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I'm surprised they still ran. Even with the ash, if you can eliminate the factor of the ash, you're still the carbon versus oxygen level has to be way out of balance.
I remember reading about, and there's, everybody up here has masks in case it goes off. They look like gas masks,
Right.
Everybody has them in their house in case, because we have two actually 4, but there's 2 near us, Mount Rainier, which is actually closer than Mountain St. Helens.
Mhm.
And the amount of material that's on Mount Rainier, if it goes, it's going to be a big problem for the United States. It's kind of like when they say Yellowstone, when it goes, it's going to be a big problem. Mount St. Helens, if it goes again, there's not much material there. It's just going to be like opening up a faucet.
Right.
So that big spray of everything and the lava melting all the rock and turning it into ash and sending it up into the atmosphere. We won't see that again from Mount St. Helens. We would see it from Mount Rainier though.
Now, are any of these close to going again from their observations?
We're more concerned about the latest earthquake because we live on, what do they call that? The name
Northridge?
No, we're on that earthquake zone.
Oh, you're on a line, good. Oh, man.
Runs right underneath Seattle, runs out to the
Yeah.
ocean. Yeah, they're
I
saying Seattle will be in the water at that point if it goes
I
again.
know what you're talking about. Oh, God, why
I
can't
know
I
it's on
think
the
of
tip
the
of my
name of
tongue
it?
too.
Oh, fuck.
The Cascadia Ridge.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's about 500 years overdue, what they're saying.
They have another name for that too.
And when we're concerned about tsunamis as far as our coastal waters, that's going to be a big issue. But like I said, when the one happened in Japan, we didn't feel it, but the tides and the way the water flow works is we got a lot of that debris up here in the Pacific Northwest. You know, plastic cups and things that float, they
Right.
get across the ocean towards us.
No shit.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get into the underwater ROVs because all the stuff that's down there.
Well, I mean, literally, that's the only. What is the most unexplored place on Earth?
It's underwater, yeah.
Because we can't reach most of the depths that we really want to check out. We have like, you ever watch? Yeah, I'm sure you've seen Titanic. Did
Yeah.
you know that nobody had ever been that deep before? They built a specific sub just to go that deep.
Yeah, for what's his name? The director who did
James
Titanic.
Cameron.
Yeah, James
Yeah.
Cameron. He
Yep.
spent years building that, by the way.
Very.
Strangest looking thing I've ever seen, but
It
yeah.
was, but that was I think the world's deepest dive attempted at the time, and they
Yeah, because it's
performed
what,
it.
2.5 miles down, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Mark
So-
Mark said San Andreas fault. Mark, that's a different fault line, but it's part of what we're talking about.
I actually think Justin is deeper than that. I think it's like 7 to 12 miles under.
Oh,
I think Titanic is pretty far down, man. Let's see here.
it's 13,000 feet below the surface.
Okay, so 5,280 feet in a mile. Oh, you might be right. Yeah, just under 3 miles.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
for some reason I thought
4,000
it was
meters.
deeper. But still, do you understand the pressures that would be on anything
Oh,
that tried to go that deep?
Have you ever seen a video of the guys like the US guys, military or the US Navy when the guys are on the sub and they put the string across the,
Oh yeah, to see how
on the
much the
side,
hull
yeah.
is
Yeah,
bowing,
everything's
the
aggressive,
stress
yeah.
on the hull. Yeah,
yeah, and you'll actually see a bow after they get so deep.
yeah, that's
That's one of the things we talk about with ROVs is guys are like, well, how deep can you go? 300 feet, that's all. I'm like, beyond that, dude, the thing's going to implode.
bro. Tell that person to go try to dive underwater 20 feet down.
Yeah, I
And
know.
Tell me how they feel after they dive. Just free diving 20 feet under the surface of the
Exactly.
water. The amount of pressure that
The
your head is under.
divers are like 110 feet, I think.
I know.
They're using nitrogen.
Bro, and I forgot about that. As a kid, you don't really register it because you don't go that deep. You can't hold your little lungs that far. But as an adult, I started going deeper, and then I was like, "Oh my God, man!" Ears start popping. You're like, "What's going on here?" You get a headache.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Pressure. That's a thing that exists underwater." Oh gosh, then your lungs, bro. The deeper you go, man, the more your lungs feel it. It's crazy to me to think that deep divers actually expel almost 90% of the oxygen out of their lungs on the way down. So when they dive that deep, they know that they can't have that opening in their lungs. Otherwise, poof.
Oh, you're talking about the free divers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, that's insane.
They
I've seen
make
some
a,
where they dive down from a boat and then they walk back to shore.
yes.
It's like,
Yep.
are you with no air?
No air, bro. They expel it almost immediately after they go under because if they keep that opening in their chest and
Right,
all
it'll
that
collapse.
extra, it'll collapse and just implode. Like what?
Makes no sense.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's
Oh.
one of those things. If it is, there's a thrill involved in it.
Oh,
If you
God.
can train for it and do it, it's one thing, you know. But yeah, to be down there and to panic.
Oh man.
Well, that's
That
like
would suck.
those, well, that's like those guys, you know, they say some of these guys that go through Navy SEAL training. Dude, some of those guys can hold their breath for minutes and minutes at a time because all the
yeah.
underwater training they do.
Dude, what's the best time? I think it's like 15 minutes or more. Somebody held their breath for like, I want to say almost 15 to 20 minutes. It was crazy. Like, what? How do you function after that long? How does your heart not stop? You're not introducing any new oxygen blood flow to your, you know, anything.
Well, the question I would have is, maybe you guys know, if you were to devise let's say a 35 or 100-story cylinder, filled it with water, would you still have the same situation if you were to dive down in it?
Oh, my bad. 11 minutes. 11.
That's
Yeah,
still
11
a long
minutes.
time.
That's a very
Well,
long time, bro.
it's still filled. It's a hollow structure that's filled with water.
Right.
Right. So it would not be affected by any kind of pressures. The only thing that's affected is when there's a vacuum.
Oh, it's saying, hold on. Give me one sec. Sorry, Paul. This is saying the average person with a little training can do up to 11 minutes, 35 seconds. The longest breath hold was for almost 25 minutes, 24 minutes and like 15 seconds. 24 minutes, bro.
Oh, check this out. The Navy SEALs have a standard operating procedure that requires them to hold their breath for a minimum 6 minutes. Yeah, I can't even hold mine for 30 seconds. I'm ready. I'm fucking panicking.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Well, for us smokers and vapors, it's even worse.
Bro, it is. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Paul, rephrase, do your question again. Sorry, man. I was really.
And let's say you took a 60-story building and were able to seal it up and fill it with water. Would you still have the pressure on you going down in that as you would out in the water?
This is where we run into volume.
Yeah.
And volume is going to make a huge difference. So because the building can only contain so much volume of water, the pressures are going to be different than being in something like, say, a pool or an ocean or a bay. You know what I'm saying? Each one's going to offer you a different value of volume. So the amount of pressure that's being pushed on you is based on gallons, right? How much is being compressed on you at one time, you know? So it wouldn't be the same as deep diving in an ocean or something like that. You know, that's cave diving is a lot easier for those people because the pressures aren't nearly as bad on them. But you start getting into like deep diving ocean stuff, that's where pressures will really build up quickly. So a building, I feel like would probably most decent divers would not really have an issue doing that if they could hold their breath long enough. I think that wouldn't really be an
It'd
issue.
be
I don't
like
think they'd feel as much pressure on it.
It'd be like an Olympic-sized swimming pool that deep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun stuff.
1999, Dubai put it.
Now, see, now if you were Chuck Norris, you'd be under the water for 35 minutes with a cigar in your mouth.
How about something like this, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have this. That's right. This is in like Dubai or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in
Dubai. There we go. Dubai. Yeah. You believe people free dive that thing, bro?
Yeah, I know that. Well, that's when you were talking about it. So
Yeah.
here's how many liters of water is in there and all the information.
Now, what is this? Just a man-made?
Yeah, it's a man-made deep dive pool, and they've made it interesting. They put a mall in there, and they've parts of it you can walk through without going underwater.
Okay.
See if we can get to some more of the underwater stuff here.
I feel
Yeah,
like this is-
there's people that dive this that go down there and they have like chairs that they can just sit in, just kind of look around. They have like recliner chairs down there. People dive. Yeah, see how there's like toiletries and like weird stuff. Some guy dives all the way to the bottom. There's like a sofa chair down there. He just sits in it and relaxes for a while. These guys are playing pool underwater, you know,
The library.
normal stuff.
This part looks cool.
Just walk by the window, you see some dude taking a dump in a toilet at 200 feet.
There you go, Jason. Video games.
He stands up and it just floats up.
Oh, that's incredible. Of course, Dubai, they got the money to blow on stuff like that.
Oh, well,
Yeah, well, they also have a lot of failed projects too. Look at all those
Yeah.
islands they built. Those were a complete failure. Half of them are starting to go back, or starting to return to the ocean because
Have their own hyperbaric chamber in there for the deep divers.
Okay.
I feel like Dubai does waste a lot of money on stupid shit sometimes though.
they have stupid money to buy stupid shit.
Cause like those islands, they spent what, like, I wanna say well over $100 billion on that project. And two of the
Look at this girl,
islands,
look at this. Look at this.
are-
She's underwater free diving and let me back it up here. And it's like she's at the library. Look at this.
Yeah, these are those people that can hold their breath for like 20 minutes.
That's insane.
At what point do you have a watch on that just says PNR has been reached?
point of no return.
Whoops. Should have been paying attention.
Yeah, sorry. We were kind of talking about that, and that's always an interesting thing to check out. That's something I'd definitely love to go there.
See, Curtis, I get into this, and you remember I used to get into this pretty heavy because I like the idea of underwater exploration. It's the most unexplored, area on the planet.
Exactly.
And we can, it's fucking weird. We can untap space, but we can't untap our own planet. How's this
Well,
possible?
I don't think there's enough interest in it. If all the governments around the world said, I wanna know what the hell's down at the bottom of the ocean, they would figure a way of getting there. It's just, I don't think there's enough interest in
Well,
learning
we've
about
been
the ocean.
using it, and I don't want to sound like an environmentalist, but we've been using it just as a dump spot.
True.
Trash out of mind, out of, if you don't see it, you don't think about it, but
I gotta,
you see it all the time as an ROV guy. I go down there and pick up a lot of garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, people just
Well,
lose their stuff down there.
There's a fucking floating plastic island out in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Like literally an island size fucking just
Plastic
thing of
bag.
plastic. Well, it's plastic bottles, plastic bags. It's just
Yeah.
a big island of plastic. You could probably walk across it if you wanted to. It was so big in some areas. That was
Well,
what
yeah.
Mr. Beast and them were raising all that money for, like
Ye-
last year.
Justin, quit hating on Greta because she's the one that's been trying to handle that situation.
Greta.
Greta, oh boy.
Oh my God.
No, man, it would be unique. I feel like if anybody's gonna find an alien spacecraft, it's gonna be Curtis one day on one of his random ass missions in a canoe. And be just out there in the ocean, fucking
I'm
around.
looking to buy a boat. I'm looking.
Well, yeah, at one point in time, you were seriously gonna buy a boat, and then
I'm seriously going to buy a boat. I just haven't decided on what I want and how much I want to spend yet.
Curtis, let me tell you how that happened for me last year. The girlfriend's kids went, we want to go out on a boat. So I went and bought a jet ski. That was great for about 2 weeks. And then I was the only one using the damn thing. So hopefully it's for you and not for everyone else, man.
well, what about these 2-man submarines? That's more up with Curtis, your alley.
So I don't really like flying, but I love flying a drone. I don't really like diving, but I like the ROVs.
Right. That's how I feel.
But wouldn't you like to dive in your own submarine?
No,
People are suffering. People are dying.
To go back to Dan's question, yes, the reason I want a boat is because of the ROVs. I have a blast doing that stuff. I love going down and finding stuff and bringing it back.
Justin's question.
Huh?
That was Justin,
Oh,
not Dan. Justin.
I thought it was yours.
No. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I figured at some point you get a boat. I'm looking for another boat this year just to tinker with. So I want to build something really stupid.
While you're playing in your boat, people are dying.
I do. I want to take a 12-foot aluminum rowboat and drop a V8 in it.
Holy mackerel.
Dude, I think it would just be an
Put
adventure.
wings
in
on it
itself.
too?
Huh? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, how much did Mr. Beast raise for that? Wasn't it like almost 100 million, wasn't it? For that ocean cleanup
Plastic
project?
Island,
Uh,
what do they call that? Gilligan's Island?
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know they had a name for it.
I'm trying to
Oh,
think of-
maybe they gave it a fancy name and they call it Isle Plastique.
The
Okay,
Isle
so he were. It was Team Seas, hashtag Team Seas. He said he
Somebody-
raised over 10 million, but I think it was a lot more than that.
Somebody just needs to either print a Dr. Evil and just go put it on top of the plastic island, or just put a sad Keanu out there. Just
There you
print a
go.
big sad Keanu and just plop his ass right on the edge of the island.
Let me see what it's called, because there is an actual name for it.
Curtis, have you seen the sad Keanu thing?
No,
In 2005, somebody got a picture of Keanu Reeves sitting on a bench staring at a bagel, just looking super depressed about life, right? And so that spawned into this ridiculous amount of memes about sad Keanu. And so anytime somebody's going through something sad, they're like, you might be sad, but you're not as sad as sad Keanu, you know? And so it literally just took off into this phase of like crazy meme wars with sad Keanu. And then it sat stagnant for like 7 years, and somebody just revived it, and they remade sad Keanu and John Wick clothing. And now they're like, sad Keanu got an upgrade to sad John Wick. And so now they're making all these 3D prints of John Wick in his suit and tie. Like, it's official, bro. It looks like Keanu Reeves. I haven't painted it yet, but you can see all his buttons and fingers, and his boots have laces. Like, this is somebody put time and effort into making this sad Keanu. That's all I'm going to say. But I think a full size one of those, just planted out there, painted up real good. Maybe
it's-
Greta will feel even worse if sad Keanu's out there.
So
is
it's
she
called.
still an issue? Is she still out there doing her thing, or I haven't
don't
heard
know.
her in a long
She's
time?
probably walked away because the 4chan trolls got into her
Oh,
life.
she's still going.
Is she?
She's
Oh, Lord.
she's always in the UK flying around.
Yeah, on our private jet. So,
I better find her always using nothing but paper straws.
So it's called the Great Pacific
There's
Garbage
some-
Patch, and it covers 1.6 million square kilometers, an area twice the size of Texas. Jesus Christ,
It's
that's
just
huge.
floating around out there.
Yeah, look here, I'll show you a picture of it, what it looks like. Like how you probably could walk across this thing. This is
I
just
think I've seen people diving this.
look at the picture of it.
Yeah, that's wild.
But that's one of the things they were raising all that money for on YouTube, the Team Seas, because they were going to, they were actually, I think for every dollar, they were gonna pull a ton out or some shit.
What are
should
they
just-
gonna do with it once they get it? though?
You know what it needs?
I
A
don't
sign
know.
that says, if anybody finds my ninja cup, let me know.
I mean, for the environmental sake, it'd be better, I guess, to be on land than be in the ocean, because you're
Somebody
killing
just,
a lot of fish.
I don't know, man. Somebody just needs to somehow figure out how to put it all on one big pile mountain and then turn it into a slide.
Just melt it into one big
Make it-
fucking
make it into an
giant
amusement
plastic
park.
blob.
Yeah, just make it a big actual plastic floating, with just a slide, just a random slide out in the middle of nowhere the size of Everest.
Don't even
out
do
of
that. Just
plastic.
grab it all up, put it into a mountain, and charge people to come see this amount of trash.
Right. The floating trash mountain.
I don't know. I think they were doing a thing where they were separating it to plastics that they could actually recycle and reuse. I'm not entirely sure what they were doing with it, but
Yeah, just turn it into a theme park.
Hey guys, I gotta jump off. I gotta get my day started.
Okay.
before my wife
Yeah.
gets
Yeah,
home.
we've been on
Yeah.
long enough. It's noon.
yeah, I'm gonna jump off too. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, Dan,
That's how we do things. We just
Yeah.
we fucking out. Bye, bitches. All right, catch you later, cocksucker.
well, he-
Dan, you
I think that
know how to get hold of
Justin-
me when you get that 5 fish.
Justin
Gotta
has.
spend 10 minutes saying
Justin
goodbye.
gets mad if the buys last too long.
I
Yeah, I
know.
don't like long goodbyes.
So Justin, I was talking to you about that show, bro, the Shet show. Are you wanting to partake in that? Hey, turn your camera on. I want to see you blush while we do this.
I'm out. Bye, guys.
Okay, everybody. We'll see.
All right, I'm out later.
Little Llama Laura is on at 2:00 Eastern time. Bye.
Gotcha.
As your ladies.